What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Olivia, Matt, and Mike are in the house. Spent a better part of the day trying to obviously get a show going, arguing with, I haven't done this in a while, arguing with a troll on Wimkin. Just a peach of a human being. And that's always fun. We'll talk about the inauguration, lot going on. The BluAnon people are saying that Trump will not take office. They will not allow it to happen. That something is coming, that the three-letter alphabet agencies will stand up and perform a coup and install the correct person, and any person except for Donald Trump.
Gee, that sounds like the alt-right 4 years ago.
Sounds like they're trusting the plan to me. Oh, man, come on. Sorry. I'm trying to put this in chat, let everyone know that we're here. And for some reason, copying the link is a pain. We are going to talk about Roseanne's new video with Tom McDonald. It's hilariously awesome.
Have not seen it yet.
That's good.
I'm so excited.
I got a sneak peek the other day, and listen, Roseanne is, we know after the national anthem that there's a little left to be desired. This, she nailed it. Let's see you guys back here in 3 minutes. Step into a webcam. One of the things that I hear most often, that I always try to help people connect the dots, is what is past is prologue. And although Shakespeare not my favorite, it's an interesting thing when you look at 1980 and the crack epidemic and what the United States government was involved in with the Contras.
No kidding.
So I don't understand why people are so shocked and they call Roseanne a conspiracy theorist. Because there's evidence in the past of the government getting involved in this, and there's plenty of books on this, and you can read this.
Here's what I think. I love your show, by the way, Matt Spear, and
Thank you, ma'am.
Just discovered you about a week ago,
ma'am.
Oh my God, this guy's a genius. The facts he can spew.
God, I love you.
You can spew fact, and that's the sign of a genius.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I appreciate you asking me that.
So you just made my
I do
life.
remember back when they were bringing the crack cocaine into the black neighborhoods, and that proved that the CIA was doing it because they were grooming that population, and they
adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. I guess we can't say dummies anymore after 4 years. We have someone who's highly offended that we call our listeners dummies. We're so insensitive, Olivia, and I think we need to reflect upon how we can be better people and stop calling our listeners dummies. Deplorables, racist, xenophobics, all fine. But dummies is a bridge too far. Folks, I don't know if you know this, but you don't spell the word dumb, D-U-M-B.
Thank you for saying that.
And folks, just to give you a heads up, if you do spell dumb, D-U-M, then you are in fact dumb. Phonetically, dumb and dumb sound the same, but that is where the similarities end. In fact, dumb is, bear with me, this is tough now because I've been told I'm condescending, and this certainly is not condescending. It's an acronym. Which is interesting because the derivative of the word is actually part Greek and Latin, but we don't need to go there because that would definitely demonstrate that we're not dumb. But I digress. DUM being an acronym stands for, Mike, since you're new to the show and you're the FNG, would you like to explain to people what DUM stands for?
Yes, we're talking about the DUM, dumb, correct, sir?
Yeah, that's correct. Not the DUMB, which doesn't stand for anything other than you're dumb.
Correct. Yeah, the DUM, I believe it's don't unfriend me. Is that right? Is that right?
What a coincidence that the initials of the show correspond phonetically with the word dumb. Almost like we were called racists and Nazis and xenophobic and homophobic and deplorable and gun grabbing, Bible thumping, red states, uneducated, and all the other wonderful extremists, MAGA extremists. So when we created this, Barstool Sports was extremely popular. And during the beginning of COVID, when we first started, I did a little show on Dave Portnoy, who is one of my heroes. I love Dave. And Dave called his fans the Stoolies because of Barstool Sports. They aren't literally things you sit on with your ass. They're not literal stools. They're not stool pigeons, and they're not fecal matter that has left the anal cavity. They're just stoolies. And even though the words may come from the same derivative of those other things that I mentioned, it doesn't mean that they are actual literal definitions of the word stool, stoolies, or any derivative of. And as the stoolies has been associated with Barstool, dummies, which was coined by one of our listeners from long, long ago, and said, well, we got to have a nickname. What should it be? If Dave Portnoy has the Stoolies, what should we become? And many names that were horrible ensued as I'm sitting here going, oh God, please pick something halfway decent. And someone goes, well, what about the dummies? And my comment was, I love it. And the Dumb Nation was born. So, Olivia, do we call our people dummies? Or is it something that they've embraced? You let us know.
They are very embraced to it. Everyone's like, I'm a proud dummy. Well, you're part of the dumb nation. You watch the Don't Unfriend Me show. Hey, don't unfriend me. I mean,
it's not hard.
Not hard.
It's so sad. I have not had to do that in, I don't know how long. I think it's at least been a year and a half. But of course, the person who decided to troll our show from Wimkin thinks that I am a abusive, arrogant, condescending person who begs for money on the show. By the way, folks, tonight's goal is $0 out of 275. If you have not had a chance,
I have a question.
You should. 1 second. You should go. Remember, I treat you disrespectfully. Bitch, shut up. Shut the fuck up. I'll get to you in a second. You hear me, Mike? You sit there and shut your mouth when I'm
so
talking.
Offended.
He said I don't treat my girlfriend right.
Oh my gosh.
And Michelle, you better shut it.
Where's my door at? I'm leaving.
So
that's funny.
So and listen, and then he also said, well, if you weren't such a condescending a-hole jerk, whatever. He did not insult me that way. He thinks that just because you don't call someone to see you next Tuesday, that's not insulting. In fact, his entire premise of his conversation was incredibly insulting. I got over it fairly quickly as I looked at my hot wife, my beautiful house, and my amazing life. But he said, I listened to this person, and Jerry Kruger. It's funny, Jerry Kruger watches our show. Hi, Jerry. You're here pretty much every night on Wimkin, so it's wonderful to see you. Also, since you love Wimkin so much, the owner decided to recruit us. In fact, we are one of the only shows in the entire interwebs that he decided to recruit us and court us for over a year. So he must find some value, but he must be dumb too, since you said anyone that follows the show is pretty much arrogant and condescending and pretty much an abusive a-hole in so many words. So it's funny because I was listening to this, and then I decided to ask the moderators, okay, does anyone know who this guy is? Because, he's just in my shit. And usually most people don't get there. In fact, if it's a Facebook person, I just ignore them. YouTube, ignore them, Rumble. But Wimkin has a special place in my heart. By the way, if you haven't been over to Wimkin, wimkin.com, 9 million people, social media, free speech, go join it. I decided to go ahead and engage with him because it means something to me. I want people, I don't want to be liked. I just want to be understood. So when I asked all the moderators, who we also call muds, even though they are not mud, they're not basically granulated dirt that has absorbed too much moisture and lost their solid form and become a mixture between a liquid and a solid at the same time, also known as mud. And they certainly aren't brown, because that would be a racial slur, and we don't do that here. They're muds because it's not muds or mods. It's muds because it is dumb spelled backwards.
It's a play on words.
Wow, we're tricky trees, man. Tricky trees here. It's almost like we need Dora the Explorer. And we need Blue's Clues notebook. So
the handy dandy notebook.
Checking my handy dandy notebook. What I've also found about this whole thing is that this guy is actually married, maybe, since he didn't know we were married. He said wife, girlfriend, whatever. And I said, I have both. See you later, Mikey. And
Stop it, yo.
It only hurt for a second. So I asked them and I said, hey, do you know this guy? And they're like, yeah, he's kind of just a dick. Really, I'm kind of finding that out. So at this point, speaking of mud, like muddy cone, right? Which is a homophobic slur. And Mike and I would say, hey, muddy cone, not Mary cone, because that's Spanish and that's a whole other language and you can't even get English down. So I decided to say, this guy has a rival podcast on Wimkin, and I've never seen his wife, girlfriend, or head moderator, whatever she is, her show, and her name is like Rebel Chick. And Jason knows her, because I asked Jason, who is this guy? Do you know this guy? And he's like, I don't know, but do you want me to ban him? I'm like, no, hold on, we're not there yet. And he goes, wait a second, Rebel Chick's, I think it's her name, her show's great. And I don't think she's married. And I said, okay, cool. So I'm going to give her a plug. So if you're ever in Wimpkin, go see her show because it's on at my time. Wait a second. A podcast on Wimpkin in my time slot? Could it be the reason this person is trolling? Could it have appeared out of nowhere, out of the ether? We somehow pull the reason for this person to be upset with me who has never watched my show. Now we have it.
You know what's funny is Jerry told me to share the show on his page every night.
Jerry's a good dude.
Yeah.
I know. You know what? In fact, I got to get Jerry on here because then that would force this floating turd to watch because Jerry's a good dude. So let me get this straight. And he's like, your interaction, you would have more people interact with you and watch your show, minus having 34 comments and 140 viewers on a 2.5-hour show. Yeah, I went and looked at Roseanne's posts. She's got 530 followers. I've got 200. If you think I am even remotely in her orbit, you're crazy, but my interaction's better than hers. And yes, a lot of it are Don't Unfriend Me fans. Wimpkin doesn't interact, whether you know this or not. And it's very rare that you get a show that blows up. Jason does because he can boost it because he is the owner. And it will come on people's pages. I don't base my success on how many people like and put little hearts on my show. I'm sorry. I got over that a long time ago. What I do care about is that if you're going to provide feedback, you could have done it in a professional way. If you truly care about the product that I'm not providing you in a positive light, or I'm egotistical, or I'm condescending, you could have told me that. Instead, you decided to troll my page and say, no one cares. And I said, obviously you do, because you posted. No, I don't. And then the diatribe starts. Next time, maybe you could just say, hey, why do you treat your wife like you do? And then I will say to you, Olivia, would you like to go ahead and explain how I treat you without having some guy mansplain you?
Would you like your pot pie now or later, sir?
I'll do it later. Appreciate it. So now we've done this. We've went on the joke. We've taken this far, but I felt it was time to dedicate a little bit of the show to a very special person called Mr. Fixer. You will be missed. We won't ban you. In fact, I have given you an open invite to come here and plead your case and express how horrible I am and why my show is so terrible, but you can't seem to leave, and you are desperately seeking my approval. So that's the intro tonight, and we figured we would give you a little bit of time to absorb that.
All right, I got a question.
Yes.
2. Will you turn off the fan, please? My hands are freezing. And then...
No. Watch this. You can ask a little bit nicer and I'll turn off that fan. Why don't you get off your own ass and turn off that fan?
You're going to get all the air. You're going to get it all.
You really want to sleep in the doghouse tonight, don't you?
It's the last time you embarrass me on this show. Don't talk again. Seriously.
My other question's about the donations. Am I still putting them into Streamlabs or
no,
what?
You just tell me.
Just tell you.
Yeah, just tell me. Like
you
verbally say, hey, by the way, folks, we didn't get to this. Tonight's show goal is broken, so we have to manually put them in. So you just tell me and say, hey, Bobby, blah, blah, blah. And then we say thank you, and then I put the money in.
Got it. All right, so Tamar Bush, $10.
You want me to do what to your where?
It's gonna be one of those.
There's no way I make it out unscathed with the awkwardness here, is there?
Tamar Bush.
It's not awkward anymore.
Bush.
This is show
you know
number
what?
5. I love it.
Tamar Bush sounds good, but Tonight Bush sounds better. Just saying.
I knew that was going.
Just saying.
I knew that was coming.
And we could have morning Bush. We could have noonsies Bush. We can have afternoon snack Bush. And we can have we can have brunch Bush. I like Bush at all times of the day. I like Bush with my pie, and we can have Bush pie too.
Your pot pie.
You have to add this shit up for me, by the way. How much is this?
$10.
Okay, who was that? Tamar?
Tamar,
thank you. Who's next?
Bobby, of course.
At $51.99. We're now at $61.99. Next.
Okay.
Thank you, Bobby. Are we done?
Thank you, Bobby and Tamar.
Okay, so I got to add this up. Okay, so
I just $61.99.
Okay, Christine Clark.
Christine Clark, thank you.
$21.10.
Yeah, it's too complicated.
Yep. Miss Amy Bordeaux.
Did you add it up?
I'm adding it up right now.
Oh, okay. Miss Amy Bordeaux, thank you.
At $15.95.
Holy
Yes,
moly,
thank you.
$15.95.
And then
Okay, folks, can we end these in zeros, please, for the love of God?
the last one, Christina.
Because we'll be here tomorrow, Bush.
Christina Parkansky. I think
Parkansky.
$20.
It's a great name.
Grand total is
119.04.
119.0.
I will keep the total on my calculator.
Oh, thank God, babe. 119.04 out of 275. Thank you so much, everybody. We're very, very excited. Sorry, we're a little slow tonight, but we will make it up. It's Friday. We always stay a little later just for you. 119.04 out of 275. I'm doing the old highlighter.
Yeah, Streamlabs decided to do a last minute update and it will not connect to anything, so we're having some issues.
Okay, last thing. Olivia, you look really good in the new background. You really stand out now.
Thanks. My mom might tune in. I told her she needs to tune in.
What do you mean you stand out? Like stand out? Like I don't stand out? Mike doesn't stand. What?
No, I said
I don't
mom.
stand out.
Why is it always about her?
God.
Folks, we're so very excited. Last thing, the Constitution of the United States. I've been telling you about this. I am so stoked. Oh, show your sign. Go ahead. You get to show the sign first because I don't respect you. Beware of the
That's
cat.
awesome.
Beware the cat is shady as boop. Shady as
Her too.
cat is shady as F. Constitution of the United States. I told you this book was coming. It is a 9x6. Folks, I knew it was cool, but it's 144 pages of the Constitution, has all the amendments, but I'm just going to show you really quick. The inside is awesome.
I haven't had a chance to look at it.
It's got the U.S. seal on the inside. It's gorgeous. And what's really cool is that once you get through the amendments and once you get through the Constitution, right here in the middle, full color photograph of the Declaration of Independence. So you can read it. And then there are these beautiful little biographies with the photographs of all the founders. And it talks about all the framers, the founders, what their political beliefs were. Also talks about the ratification timeline, which state they were in, everything else, all right here, exclusive to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. This isn't out in Washington, D.C. You can't get this at Smithsonian, Library of Congress. These are the ones you usually get on the street mall. You can't get them yet. We have them first. They will be there, but they're not going to be there first. We've got them. So we are selling the hell out of these. They're over at thedumshow.com. Go get your Constitution. All right, let's get to it. Sorry.
So Matt Howanit's on YouTube. He wants to know if we have shirts in kids small, so Mike can wear one. You're on the shopping block tonight.
So good. Mike, welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show.
Fucking love this show. We're starting it off with an F word from Mike tonight. I love it. All you dummies out there, get your dummy Bibles and everything ready because this is going to be a good one. We're going to be preaching.
Mike, God, dude.
Who is he? What was his name? Where is
like,
that son of a bitch? Where is he? That sound. Okay.
All right. We got a lot to do. So anyway.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to send you the cat video.
These are going out Monday. So they are.
Tuesday.
Well,
it's a holiday on
they'll
Monday.
be boxed on Monday and I'll send them out. They're beautiful. You guys will love them. All right. So welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Sorry for the late entry, but you know what? Even if you're a troll, you should feel privileged that we took the time to spend it on you. And the funny thing is that I had this I was waiting for him to reply one more time. And I was like, okay, let's stop all the grab ass. Let me just tell you this, dude. You're probably right on some of the things you're saying. It's not like I haven't heard it before. I'm arrogant. I'm aware. I'm condescending. I'm also aware. But I take umbrage when you said I treat my fans like shit. I don't think you have watched the show if you knew how I truly care about the people on this show. And I'm not going to sit here and give you a bunch of anecdotal responses about what I've done and how great I am, because honestly, that's not important. What's important is that I do interact with my audience, and I do care about my audience, and that is the reason I have the mods. They're not there to push the show so much. Olivia does that, even though you insulted her for doing it. But the mods truly keep the balance on the force, and they help me keep in contact with people I've known in this show and let me know when something's wrong. And I can't tell you how many times they have done an amazing job when somebody maybe get cancer, or we lose one of our members, or somebody's maybe a little short on money. We rally around and take care of them. So once again, I go shields up when people start attacking the people I care about, and that's why I even gave you the time of day. Just, you can say whatever you want about me, but I'm going to go shields up with my team. Okay? So thank you so much for being there. Hopefully you become a fan, or you just take a flying fuck off of a long, short cliff. Short, long fall, short to point A to point B for you to fall off, if that makes sense. You can't even get dumb right. I don't even think you'll get that. All right, so moving on. Inauguration, Monday. Mike, how you feeling about the inauguration?
Man, I got some questions. I'm glad you asked. Moving inside, I don't understand if it's true that it's for the cold weather, or if that everything you've been talking about for the last 7 to 10 days is potentially a reason as well. So I would like to ask that question right now. What's going on, Matt?
Well, I don't know. Because, well, I do. That's not true. Don Bradley reached out, and here's the thing, is that, first of all, this sucks because everybody wants to see the inauguration, but now it's going to be indoors. And this is the first time that this has happened. This happened under Reagan, too. The difference is a lot of people are saying, oh, this is stupid. Obama did it out in the cold, and Big Mike didn't shrivel up. So we should survive, right? So here's Obama. There's a difference. When Obama was out there in the cold, this is supposed to be, the wind chills are going to be 16 degrees up to negative 14 wind chill. That's pretty freaking cold. What they didn't tell you about Obama's inauguration, and most certainly they were out there, is that the National Guard had to treat people for hypothermia. That's the story that doesn't get out from the media, because I remember this, because I watched it. And you're not hearing that on the media, that they're just saying, oh, look at Obama. Look at the black man from Africa, Kenya. They didn't say that because we know the truth. But that he's able to go ahead and just put a coat on. His family didn't run. When you have that many people together in that environment, it is most assuredly going to be freezing, and they are going to be standing for long periods of time. Here is how far back they are. These are the seated areas, and you can see that there are 100,000 chairs. Can you believe those guys who set that up? How horrible they must feel tonight. They're like, really? You couldn't have told us in the first 10,000? You had to wait until 100,000 chairs were set up?
Where's it going to be now?
It's going to be inside, and there is a vestibule where they moved it last time, and it's I don't remember the official name of it. I'll get it for you, and I'll show you a photograph. But it will be indoors. But the problem is, people have traveled all over the United States. They have purchased hotel rooms. They took airline flights. And now one of them is a listener of the show, Dawn Bradley. And Dawn said she was going to listen and told me that she would remind me. So I'm going to start anyway, and she can hopefully watch it on replay. So she said, can I just read it to you? Because I don't want to get into the full nitty gritty, but I think it's important enough to maybe help people make their minds up outside of, what they're hearing on the news and everything else. So Dawn said, hold on.
Donna is here.
Dawn's here. Great. Dawn, can I read what you wrote or no? And just say no if it's a no. It's totally fine if it is.
You know what I'm going to miss? I'm going to miss seeing Bernie in his puffy winter coat, matching hat, mittens. Yeah. Having the sourpuss look on his face.
Santana said it right. It's in the rotunda. I said the vestibule. Thank you. It's the Capitol Rotunda. And it's a circular dais where I'll show you a picture of it in a second. So did Dawn say it was okay?
I haven't seen it yet.
Dawn says, I was giving you a chance to do your talking first. That's a dangerous thing, ma'am. That could have went all night. Shut up, Mike. Don't even start with me. Your mom defended you already. She's like, Mike is just in good shape. He's very thin. And
that's not helping me. That's not helping my case, bro.
I don't think she said thin. I think she said athletic. And back off. Okay. So here's what it is. Dawn says, yes, she said yes. I like Dawn a lot, by the way. Dawn is She is uber sweet. Not literally, just like disposition and quality of content of character. You got to be careful nowadays. You say stuff like that, and all of a sudden you're going to be on the Senate Oversight Committee. Did you say that Dawn Bradley was in fact, quote unquote, sweet? Yeah, because I had to taste that Tamara Bush. It was fantastic.
I was just waiting.
That's how you bring things back, folks. Maybe arrogant, but always effective. Matthew Owen Spear, hey, Matt, as you probably are aware, they canceled the inauguration for outdoors. I am so, I think, probably upset or distraught or pissed off or sad. I didn't get the word. Many other people had actual tickets for it. Do you feel it is safe to go to this event? Have you heard any rumblings within your network of people? I do trust your opinion. Don, that means the world to me. Yeah, well, here's the first thing. Liv, you go ahead and talk about your source first, because your source is impeccable. And then I'll talk about what I know.
My source, being a government employee, was told that no government employees can be in DC on Monday. They are to stay home. And he didn't want to not tell me to go. But when I said I wasn't going, he goes, oh, good, because I wasn't going to just tell you not to go because I thought you were, but good, you're not going. So, yeah, and he's inside the circle, and he works for one of those alphabet agencies. So,
if Mike ever wants a GILF, message me. I'll wear the granny panties. Photos or it didn't happen, Mike. Photos or it didn't happen.
Oh my God, Amy, you're the best. I love your comment.
I'm so honored right now. I'm so honored. Oh.
You know what's even better is that we have a pink microphone, a blue microphone, and a red microphone. All the microphones. All right.
Oh yeah, my pink microphone.
So
we're inclusive.
We are very diverse. A lot of.
These are the dumb microphones too. Do we need to talk about this, Mr. What's your name on Wimkin? I'm sorry,
yeah. So,
I have another color.
So when he's on the show, do we need to put the red one back on so he's not talking through a pink microphone?
No. He'll be fine. All right. So Olivia, that should be enough right there. If they're asking government employees to kind of stand down, I think that should be enough for everyone to say, okay, this is going to give me a moment of pause and reflection. I have heard from, I will tell you, the people who I know within the circles of this who are responsible in any way, shape, or form are people who are in charge of security for Air Force One, pilots of Air Force One. Personally, no. People who are Secret Service. We just got a downvote. Why did we get downvote? You hit the wrong thing. Go back, do it again. You hit the downvote. I know happens every show. There's one person, just damn it, fat fingers like me. A couple people in MARSOC and Capitol Police, and surprisingly enough, a couple of people who are actually state legislature, working on expanding the relationship. And the one consistent message that I got, which was very similar to January 6th, was people encouraging me to tell my viewers to be cautious of going to DC for the event. And I can tell you that I take that very seriously. And the reason that I take it seriously is one of two things. One is that you have no protection of your family when you're in DC because it's no carry. Two, there are two major throughputs, which if you want to travel to Baltimore or you want to travel back through the rest of Maryland and go to Virginia. And there's really only two exits from Washington, D.C. And with 250,000 tickets sold, that doesn't even talk about standing room. So I want you to imagine that it's cold, which is going to be miserable. It's now going to be inside. And if something happens, the predominant force that will be there will be protecting the president and not necessarily the crowd, because there's too many people in the crowd. And if a gunshot goes off, your worry isn't a shooter. Your worry are the hundreds of thousands that are there who are going to stampede. And keeping your footing in an environment like that, in a cold environment, when you've been standing around for a couple of hours, to me, that just envisions no bueno. And last but not least, just say somebody does smuggle something in, because I'm going to show you some video tonight it's really disturbing. In fact, we're going to start right now, is if a bomb goes off. Those aren't your, in a second, one second. Those aren't the biggest concerns. The biggest concern is, how do you get home? How do you get safe? And a lot of people who are going do not live in Washington, D.C., which means that you're going to have to exfil and get out. You're not going to want to go stay downtown. Trust me. It's going to get locked down. National Guard's going to take it over. And it's going to be like a demilitarized zone if something happens. They're not going to allow a J6 to take place again. And come hell or high water, they will initiate whatever they need to ensure that that doesn't happen. So, my opinion is stay home.
Bobby wants to know how credible the threats are.
Extremely. Extremely. The fact that Jason was talking about going to Maha and possibly, bringing Olivia and I down there. It didn't pan out, but if he would have asked, I still would have said no. That is where I'm at. Like, let me show you why. Okay, we've got a lot of people on right now.
There was one question.
Yeah, go.
Are they going to fence off the Capitol?
They already have.
Okay.
It's been fenced off for 3 weeks. And not only that, but there are nest teams. You know what a nest team is?
Yes.
Let's watch a video. This show is not about hyperbole. This show is not about scaring people. I'm just telling you, I haven't had a good feeling for about a month, and I've been telling people that. And Olivia and I had a chance to be down there. Amy had a chance to be down there, and both of us are not going. And we had an obligation. We were going to hand out meals to officers. We said no.
Hi, Homer. Homer's on.
Hi, Homer. So here is something that you should see. This is not everywhere. And that should bother you because it isn't everywhere, and it should be. Here is the video.
Oh, crane to your left. Got it.
From only 150 feet in the air, pilots dodge.
An exclusive look at how security officials are prepared after months of planning.
So, crane to your left. Got it.
From only 150 feet in the air, pilots dodge buildings.
Edge tower on your left side. Got it.
Flying in a grid over the National Mall to scan for radiological or nuclear irregularities, threats like dirty bombs.
So you're trying to create a blueprint of what the radiation in Washington, D.C. looks like ahead of the inauguration. Correct.
Department of Energy scientist Jacqueline Brandon calls this low-flying helicopter one of just 2 of its kind, her office.
If we find a radiological irregularity, we'll investigate it even further.
Highly sensitive technology sets off alarms in the air.
That's an alarm. That is an alarm. It's a slight variation in our spectra is what it's saying.
An exclusive look at how security officials are prepared.
I have said since 9/11, if these attackers truly knew what they were doing, they would have created a situation to have a VBID that was full of ammonium nitrate, hit the towers. And although they probably didn't know that the towers were going to collapse, I think it was a surprise to most everybody. And I really don't want to get into the conspiracy bullshit tonight, so we're not going to do that. But knowing that emergency response would show up, knowing police would show up, knowing that there would be casualties, knowing at some point the president more than likely would visit, or a mayor or a governor or a couple senators, is I would have had a secondary device if I was doing it. And that was the first thing I thought of is, and this is fresh out of it. I mean, I literally was fresh out of contracting. I wasn't even 100% out yet. And I looked at Olivia and I was like, I want to go back in. And the look I got was not good. And I decided that my physicality, I wasn't up to the job, I wasn't up to the task. The injuries that I sustained in the military were not going to make me a viable option for what I wanted to do. And ultimately decided a younger generation was probably better. But
we also weren't married yet. So if you got shipped overseas, I wouldn't be able to go with.
There was a lot of considerations. But the point is that my first reaction was, let's get into the fight. And the second one was, holy shit, they better keep the president out of there, because it very much is in line with Islamic extremism to do a bait and switch, just like that. Is that you suck in with a large attack that looks shocking and unbelievable, and follow it up with a more devastating attack against civilians and emergency responders. So I will tell you that if they're running nest teams, which is totally normal, it's totally normal, 3 days before, and they're getting the mapping profile 3 days before, they are not preparing for this. This should have been done a long time ago.
So this is not normal for these types of events, is it?
It should.
I've never actually seen that.
It should.
Yeah, you'd imagine it would be.
It's SOP, especially for high profile. But see, the thing is, you have foreign dignitaries coming into Washington, D.C. all the time. You had Netanyahu here recently. Can you imagine if Netanyahu was killed on U.S. soil, what would happen? Can you imagine if any foreign leader was killed on U.S. soil, what would happen? Having a map of thermal blooms, having a map of radioactive signatures in the area is standard OPSEC. So the fact that they're doing it 3 days before is a little concerning to me. This should be, first of all, and it shouldn't be done by a chopper. There are other platforms that can do this. And I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of details, but satellite tasking is a very simple process. And so are drones. And I would be flying in every capable system to ensure that there was no nuclear irregularities anywhere in not just DC, but in Virginia, Maryland. Because here's the thing, it more than likely, it's if there is a dirty bomb, it's not going to be in place now. It'll be brought into place right before the event, at the last possible moment. So you need to be checking Maryland, you need to be checking Baltimore, you need to be checking Virginia and Fairfax and Alexandria, you need to be checking Portsmouth, you need to be checking Hampton News, you need to be checking Little Creek, Virginia Beach, all major ports, because that's the concern. Because they don't need to get it to DC. They just need to get it to Baltimore. They just need to get it to Annapolis. And setting that off will create a shitstorm of epic proportions. And although they may not hit the White House in the area, the visual, the sound, the spread of fear will be imminent and incredibly fast. I'm going to show you some other stuff. Antifa / BluAnon / Palestinian protesters, they've all been activated. There's extremist groups in the United States with ties to ISIS-K, ISIS, Al-Qaeda sympathizers, JIP, Muslim Brotherhood, Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of these groups. There's white national groups and Aryan groups that also have there's rumblings there. This is a powder keg. And you asked me a question, why would you move it indoors? The weather is most assuredly a concern. But this is a guy who took a round to an ear and got up and said, fight, fight, fight. Do you really think that Donald Trump doesn't want to be on that stage? Do you think the cold is going to stop Donald Trump? This is a guy who's done events in 116-degree weather in Phoenix. This is a guy who was in Iowa when it was 16 degrees and he was outside and held a rally. Do you really think? My personal gut is the weather is a very convenient excuse to secure this inauguration because there is an existential threat from multiple sources that put this in a very dangerous position, and knowing that we can't protect American lives because it's impossible in a size of arena that they are asked to protect.
There's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think the drone sightings were practiced for January 20th?
No.
I have one for you.
Yeah.
So if we have 3 days notice and it's under the guise of weather, and then we have this video that's not being shown in anywhere, I haven't seen it. I mean, what was that, CBS?
Yeah, I've got a couple
it's not
other
being
ones too.
Right. So just that one video, for example, plus the more that we're going to see. Why would they tell people 3 days prior to the event? And then why would they not show this video? The first thing that comes to my mind is make as many people be like, oh, I can't go and leave as possible now, give them a couple of days to get out, and then prevent more people from coming in, right? Do you think they're trying to isolate the situation, the territory?
I think if you tell
point
people
out the bad guy.
Yeah. I think if you tell, I very much consider it to be something, and a word that I use often is you become anesthetized to fear when it's presented on a regular basis. And it becomes, hold on.
Couple of questions too.
Fucking allergies, man. Hold on. You become anesthetized to fear. And I think if you start talking about this existential threat, this vulnerability, which Ryan Jonesberg said, and he's absolutely right, vulnerability is the key word, is that there are soft targets all over the place. All over the place. Yes. The drone, here's, all right. So you have, I don't want to say this because this sounds conspiratorial, but it does not behoove the media stations and news stations who are going to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars of commercials to have less viewers watch what's happening. It helps to create intrigue to have them watch. The media could report and warn, which would stem the flow of people and make the vulnerability smaller. But then if a tragedy happens, the news is kind of cutting its own throat. You asked me the question, Matt, are you telling me the news wants bad things to happen? Have you not been paying attention? Why do you think the media reported Russian collusion the way they did? Why do you think they reported J6 with two very opposite stories? Fox says it was peaceful and loving and it was a love fest, and CNN says it was a death squad by Nazis. The truth is somewhere in between, but nobody told you the truth. They told you what you wanted to hear, so you continued to stay on the channel and buy Provasic or invest in gold because William Devane says so, or get yourself Australian Dream when you're having those arthritic conditions.
The blue emu.
The blue emu. So the media, you're not going to get it from them. So am I saying that they're going to give you the full truth? It depends what you watch. Now, how do I get this information? Well, it's not just CBS This Morning, but I use various channels that their job is to provide you what the left, the right, and the middle are saying so you can make comparative contrast to find out where the truth exists. And All Sides Balance is one of the best publications that I love. It's allsides.com. Everyone should be going to it. It's fantastic. ProRepublica is good. There's a bunch of others. The second question was about drones. Do I feel the drones... Okay, I told you a long time ago that those drones were government ran and government owned. And I told you they were not a foreign government. If you can't put two and two, what they've been worried about and why they're flying and why they rerouted FAA no-fly zones all over Delaware, all over Maryland, all over Virginia, and why entire airports were being diverted over pathways that nobody had ever seen planes before. And then they're like, it's drone because Twitter said so. No, it's a civilian aircraft that you never see because you live in the middle of bumfuck and the flight path is 75 miles to the west. This created a lot of stress. But yes, the government is obviously using drones for multiple sources for OPSEC and operational security. Of course, they're looking for nuclear threat. Of course, they're looking for different heat signatures and different radio signatures, and they're going to use drones because to put up a chopper that's worth, $500,000 and put up a thermal imaging system or a radiant imaging system is expensive. But when you can get a drone that can virtually do the same thing as a proxy to that system, and the only thing you really need to do is alter the camera system and how it intakes information, that's a hell of a lot cheaper than buying a chopper. And if you can have these drones flying around and running operational security, then of course the government's going to do that. The reason why people are flipping out over drones is because they haven't seen them in the sky to this value, but this is going to be the next thing. There was a time when the Montgolfier brothers put up a hot air balloon and everyone shat their pants in Italy and said, what the fuck is that? Is that some sort of giant prehistoric animal that's going to kill us all? No, it's a hot air balloon. The same thing happened when we saw the German Messerschmitts and the rockets came over. People are like, what in the fuck is this? So new technology is going to create fear and going to create trepidation. But if anyone sits here and thinks that some foreign government is flying in U.S. airspace, you're watching too many movies. Was there anything else, honey?
Yes. Isn't that in insurrection with what they are threatening?
Yeah. It's exact. Well, but we've seen it before. BLM was a giant insurrection. They hit federal buildings, they hit police stations, and they hit lawmakers' offices. They hit the state capitals while they were in session. Isn't that what we heard what insurrection was?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened when they stormed the Capitol with Amy Coney Barrett? And they went ahead and they kicked in the anteroom chamber doors during her confirmation. They interrupted. What happened when Bowman pulled the fire alarm? That was an insurrection? Hell, there was a session in Congress that was being voted on. They were voting at the moment, and he pulled a fire alarm. That's not insurrection? What happens when they went in the Tennessee and all the gun nuts went in and they pushed cops and pushed their way to get into the joint session? So it's not like we haven't seen this before, but it's all about optics and it's all about who controls the narrative.
Right. Will we know if something happens or will they try to hide it?
You're not going to hide it with 250,000 people. Every news station, I promise you this, not only is every news station going to be pointed at the rotunda, you're going to have a second camera crew that are going to be pointing toward the reflection pool. I promise you.
And to add to the previous question, will there be false alarms?
Brother or sister, I can't answer that question.
I'm Susie.
So here's my answer to all of it. Yes. Because if you're not preparing for every possibility, then you're not thinking the right way. You have to assume that there are people who have been very, very quiet. 2016, there were riots in almost every city because Trump. Where are they? Why aren't they here again? Who funded those things? Who brought those things together? Where are those people now? What are they doing? The guy has had 2 assassination attempts, 3 actually. There are rumors that man-pad missiles came over the border in Mexico. I covered this. I addressed this, 6-7 months ago. Air Force One was redirected, and what they started doing is flying Trump privately. Why? Because it's easier to go ahead and fly him privately. Sometimes the best thing you could do is put someone in the most inconspicuous space, creates the most anonymity. So we know that there's been threats. We know that Iran wants to kill him. We know that there are plenty of people who would love to kind of put the final nail in the coffin of the United States after COVID. And with the instability of our market, the instability of our division in this country, if Trump goes down, what do you think happens? Do you believe this is going to be a government versus the people, or do you think it's going to be city versus city and suburb versus suburb? That's what you'll see. You'll see a true civil war, just like the real Civil War. Lincoln wasn't out there with, and going after Jefferson. Or Lincoln wasn't out there going ahead and swapping battle swords with Lee. The politicians stayed safe. Jefferson Davis stayed safe. He wasn't out there with the CSA and storming bunkers and fortified ammo depots in the Civil War. It's the politicians were staying safe. It'll be us. because that's where the division lies. It's the media propagating this narrative and us eating it up and hating each other. Listen to this. A lot of talking. We got to get some more opinion from the host.
We do need to take a quick donation break when we can.
I will in just 1 second.
Okay.
He has no empathy for the regular people. And
real quick, this is a BluAnon liberal wearing his Space Force jacket. He declares that the silent heroes within the three-letter agencies are about to save the U.S. from Donald Trump's presidency. Listen to this shit.
We thank God that the men and women of the three-lettered agencies are going to come to our aid. The silent heroes behind the scenes that don't toot their own horns. They work in silence. And they're going to pounce and save us. They're going to save our democracy and save our nation. And the world is going to breathe a sigh of relief, and we're going to applaud them. The Attorney General, who handles the FBI, the CIA, and law enforcement, you think they're going to let this clown come in and, with all his doofy-ass cabinet and everything, come in and cut everything apart and rip our country apart, tear down these institutions that maybe they need a little bit of squeaking, but there's so much integrity and goodness in our government that they really aren't. Come on, man. Him going in and doing that, all it does is makes us vulnerable to our enemies. If they were going to do anything to us, it would be as soon as he takes office, if he were to take office, but he's not going to take office. Donald Trump is not going to be our next president.
Oh, dude, what a side. That guy's like a Fed. I'm just letting you know he's a fucking Fed.
Sounds like the alt-right 4 years ago.
Trust the plan.
Really,
right.
Yeah. Just
does that guy
really
still have
does.
a position in the Space Force? Because doesn't he work for the government, and then that's the commander in chief? He is,
I would be shocked if that guy is military ready. He did, yeah. I mean, it's possible, but he just screams Fed. These guys either currently federal or pretends they are. Let me explain what people don't seem to understand about the intelligence community of the United States of America. They don't give a shit who the president is. They don't care. The only thing that the intelligence apparatus of the United States government cares about, does anyone want to take a guess what it is? Liv, you get first stab. What do you think is the only thing they care about? Take a second. Don't rush. Don't feel pressure. What do you think they really care about? The only thing they care about?
I would think any threats against the country.
No, they don't give a shit about that either.
Okay.
Mike?
I'd say their own relevancy and power.
How do you get relevancy and power?
Relevancy is you create reason for yourself to need or be needed, I suppose.
Why would you do that, though? What's the end goal? Why do you need to create relevancy?
Drives decision making.
Yeah, we know all that. But why would you do it? We know this. What are they doing that for? If you want to be relevant,
I have a good answer for you on that.
You do have it, because we're all going to do it together.
All right, let's do it.
Liv, why do you and I do what we do for our kids? There you go. Glenn's on the path. He says control. Right.
Because we love them.
But what's control? What's control? How do you get control? What do you need to control?
Fear.
In a capitalistic society, what do you need to control?
Money.
Money.
Dinero. All right.
That's it. That is it. That's the only thing the intelligence communities care about. You can sit here and blow sunshine at my ass, but the only thing they care about are their quarterly projections of getting their budget, because without it, they can't do anything. I can tell you the number one saying I heard in intelligence is that if we don't get funded for this project, it doesn't matter how much good we do. Our number one goal is to get funded. Our number one goal is to assure that we get a slice of the pie so we can continue operations. But this is the one fundamental flaw with intelligence, is that it takes money to be relevant. It takes an extreme amount of money to do what our government does, overseas and here. So when people say the number one mission is to protect the United States and the Constitution, has anyone seen it? 41 years, our intelligence apparatus has absolutely failed us. Would you like me to go ahead and walk you through the failures? We can go back 41 years. Let's go to Pearl Harbor. What about the movement of the French being dominated by the Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam? What about Laos and Indochina? What about having to exfil the embassy? What about Iran? What about the failure with the Iran-Contra? What about the failure of our hostages? What about the rise of the Shah and the Ayatollah? What about getting the Dalai Lama out? What about John F. Kennedy? What about the assassination of John F. Kennedy? What about Ronald Reagan getting shot?
9/11.
What about 9/11? What about the stock market crash? What about the banking and housing crash? What about the dot-com bubble? Is intelligence, do they not care about national security when it comes to our economy? Isn't that what is one of the most important things? Because of the economy crashes, America fails, because every single country in the world is invested in the United States. You want to look at Syria? You want to look at Assad? You want to look at the attack in Israel just recently with Iran? Oklahoma City? You want to look at the Boston bomber? Boston Marathon bombers? The most recent attack in Louisiana? Half of the school shootings that the FBI has known about and the mall shootings that every one of them says, well, we interviewed these guys 2 years before, but they've been off our radar. Folks, the United States intelligence apparatus is an abysmal failure. Oh, well, you always hear about the mistakes, but you never hear about the successes. Really? Have you ever read a book by a SEAL? Because they write a book about everything. And I've got some very good friends who are quiet professionals who don't, but I have a lot of people who do. There are no more secrets in the intel community anymore. You got people like Joe Biden talking about the Obama hit and OBL raid during the process and saying which team was involved. Operation Red Wings, they want to go ahead and make that comparable to Joe Biden, but that wasn't. But there was message traffic leaks and there was information that Afghanis could actually use because we didn't change comm channels effectively. We're supposed to rotate those comms channels so people can't get wind of that and use and start spying on communications. There are plenty of intelligence failures that have taken place all over the United States and all over the world. The number one reason intelligence agencies exist is under the guise of protecting the United States of America. But that's not what they do. Intel that essentially protects the interests of global initiatives and where we stand on the world stage, which since World War II and the Office of Strategic Services by Wild Bill Donovan, which turned into the CIA, became an international agency to assure that America's best interests are expanded abroad. And this is why we strategically have military bases all over the United States, or all over the world, and why we have been so adamantly involved with NATO to ensure any European uprising doesn't take place. Thank you. So this is all long in the tooth, and I apologize. But intelligence agencies are here to protect Americans is in my opinion, a fallacy. Tom Shin says pretty much everything related to politics. What's that?
I didn't mean to interrupt. It just makes you really hope that there's a real Jack Ryan.
There isn't.
I mean, I love Tom Clancy. It sucks to hear.
There's no Jack Ryan out there, dude. Because I tried to be Jack Ryan. There is no Jack Ryan. Captain Americas are no longer in the United States government. The people who are the most honest, the people who are the most nation-focused and America-focused are marginalized. That is why we need change. That is why we need to clean up and the rank and file. We need to get the people who sympathize and empathize with global domination, and we need to bring people who are nationalists again. We have gone too far from where we were the days of MacArthur. McCarthyism is way out there. But now, this populist focus, this world populism, globalist, is the other end of the spectrum. We need to get back to the days of being paranoid and being nationalists.
Do you think major cities all over the U.S. are going to be a target on Monday? Like people who can't travel but will gather locally to see the inauguration together?
You guys, I don't know. I know there is a heightened sense of awareness and fear in the United States right now from the intelligence community, military, and law enforcement. And you know this better than anybody because your source is impeccable. Your source came to you, and it has nothing to do with this show. They don't even know you have this show. And we will protect those sources. But you made mine look like a joke because I know who your source is and I know what they do. And they are in the top 0.001% of the echelon of the United States government. This is a person who has, I'm not going to go any further. I'm just going to say that I trust, and that person told you to stay out of Washington, and then when you came home and I sit here and said, here's what I've heard. Folks, your job is not to celebrate. Your job is to survive. That is your number one mission every time you wake up. That's why you get up and you go to work. That's why you take a shower. It's why you make the bed. It's why you go ahead and do the things you do, is survival. And I would never put myself in a situation. Yes, I'm going to miss the summer beach because I'm not going to go swimming in shark-infested waters. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose that vacation in order to survive. I would not go to Washington, D.C. And I don't even know if anything's going to happen. The point is, why would you take the risk? There's no point.
We do need to take a donation break.
Yeah, donation break. Let's do it. So how about you give me the total number first, and I'll change it, and then you can go through each individual one, and we can say thank you. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, did you already do that? Okay.
No, I'm not.
So while you do that, thank you, darling. I am going to pull up something else. By the way, it's wonderful to see that nobody watches our show, considering that we've got 100 people on Twitter, 34 on YouTube, 80 on Facebook. Wimkin, I don't even know where we're at. Rumble, we've got almost 100. So we're sitting here with 350 in the network. Nice to see so many people.
All right, 199.68.
That's total?
Is the total.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. 99.68. All right, rock out.
All right, so Kevster or Stumpy the Ninth Dwarf.
Thank you, Kev.
2110.
Thank you, Kev.
Thank you, Kevin.
Jerry Brunson, 1954.
Jerry's new?
I think so.
Jerry, thanks, man. Woman, man, how do they spell it? Gerri?
J.
J.
That's a guy.
Thanks, bro.
Miss Ashley Gleason, $20.
Thank you, Ashley. We love you as always.
And Kim Juggermeyer. I don't know how you spell your last name.
Juggermeyer.
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Jugger's good.
I did it wrong.
Thank you, Kimmy. You're the best.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
So, 1 second. So, yeah, that's one of the things that bothers me is the whole, well, Obama did it. Like I said, they had to treat people for hypothermia. And you're gonna get people hurt.
See, Trump, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, because people are saying he's a wimp and blah, 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 for bringing it inside. But if he doesn't, then they're going to call him heartless because he made people stand out in 6-degree weather for 12 hours. And then he's evil for making him do that. I mean, he can't do anything right, no matter what he does. If he turns out to be the second coming of Christ and can walk on water and turn water into wine and feed everyone in the world, people would still bitch and complain about he didn't make the right fish.
Making everyone fat.
Didn't make the right fish, or it was white wine instead of red, or why is he walking on, water? He needs to be walking on something else. I mean, there's nothing he can do to make people happy, no matter what. He's going to piss people off.
Jerry, I didn't think you were new, so to speak, but possibly a new donor. But either way, doesn't damn matter. I hope Amarillo is doing well, and we love you. And Olivia, you're absolutely right. There is nothing he can do. It's just an overabundance of caution. Folks, we're 45 minutes away from D.C. We can be there in a blink. We have people where I can stay at. I can call and get a hotel room very easily with the connections that I have in D.C. I'm not going. I'll tell you how I would go. I've told it with a 308 on the top of a roof next to a couple MARSOC guys. That's where I would go. And you know, if I was a decent enough shooter, and Will, if you're going, I love you, buddy. Just stay frosty and
I should probably call him before.
slow is smooth,
just
smooth
in
is
case.
fast. I'm sure he's there.
I'm sure he'll be there.
I'm sure he's going to be there too. So just aim small, miss small, Bubba. That's all I'm saying. Because I just don't think, that it's possible that something won't go on. It's too big of an opportunity for some jackhole to take advantage of this.
Hasn't Antifa already said they're going to be there?
Antifa said they're going to be there. BluAnon groups have said they're going to be there. Some white nationalist groups have said they're going to be there. Palestinian groups are going to be there for protests, try to create conflict. And that's what they want. They want conflict. They want a black person hurt or a Muslim hurt so they can scream racism and that Trump supporters are racist. That this is, you guys, this is just bait. And they're going to antagonize and they're going to try to get you to do something stupid. Don't. Like I said, I can't go in there armed. I won't go in there. I won't. That's why I don't go to Capitals games. To go see the Avs. I won't go down there. Too dangerous. Yeah, go.
Why do is it a sign of strength that the inauguration is still happening, but it did have to be moved, but it's still happening? Because if it is this serious and the intelligence community is, you guys, y'all's connections are saying what they're saying, I'd be like, hey, let's still have the inauguration, but like, safe, please, because this still does not sound suitable.
Let me ask you a question. If the United States were to surrender its flag, optically, what would that do to the world stage?
Yeah, I get it. Shatter it.
Take it off the shatter.
Yeah.
You must go through this inauguration. Come hell or high water, no matter what happens, it must be seen nationally. The United States, no matter what we like to think, are the bastion and the guidon for freedom and democracy around the world. We're not a democracy. Okay, just no shit. I get it. I'm just telling you, I'm quoting Captain America, and he didn't say for freedom in the republic. And you have to keep up the airs that the United States is free. Even when we were going through some of the biggest struggles through COVID, we pretended that we were something we weren't. You always keep up the airs. When we were behind in nuclear deterrence, when we were behind in military readiness, we still prepared and pretended that we were the best. Then Trump came in 2016, and we upgraded a lot of our systems and a lot of our world stage efforts. And then Biden has spent the last 4 years tearing them down. You always act as if. And the United States is being watched and looked at for weakness. And if we don't do this inauguration, then they know that we give in to even the obscurity and the most ridiculous notion of terrorism. Imagine when there is a direct threat. Imagine when it is a viable threat. If they know that they can stop the United States, why do you think the stock exchange opened so quickly after 9/11? Why do you think we got planes back in the air? Why do you think the Yankees fucking played baseball? It was absolutely imperative to the world stage that the United States opened up for business. The same thing happened with COVID. We have to maintain the visual dominance that we have. So this will go on no matter what. Change the inauguration to Mar-a-Lago. That's even more dangerous because you're closer to Cuba. I'll take DC. DC from an integrated air defense, from an overall net of protection, is extremely safe. Someone asked in the rotunda, do you think it's to have all those dignitaries, the United States, some of the most elite of the elite together? Is it a danger? They wouldn't be if there was. You guys have to understand that I cannot go into details. There are systems surrounding Washington, D.C. that you're not getting a missile in there. I'm just letting you know. You're not getting a GBU. You might get a hypersonic missile in there. Maybe. There might be a slim chance. But if you do, you are going to have hundreds of nuclear warheads hit your fucking country. If Iran sends in some sort of missile somehow, or mothership of drones that attack Washington, D.C., Iran will be a sea of glass by morning. If someone tries to kill the president of the United States or successfully does, who from a foreign country, you will see the third nuclear warhead dropped and more in world history. Leroy and I have told you 100 times, someone tries to kill or kills the president of the United States, the proportional response is a nuke. I'm just letting you know.
What happens if it's somebody from here?
It's a whole other conversation. Pandemonium. Instability, opportunity for foreign governments to take advantage of it. That's my fear. It's not some foreign government getting froggy. It's some stupid ass who tries to take out the president, and the United States government doesn't know. This is why 9/11 was so dangerous. The first 72 hours were dangerous because I was praying to God the United States took a collective breath, pulled themselves back from the emotional charge situation, and didn't engage with people because our first ideas were wrong and our final ideas were wrong and we made mistakes. But by the time that we knew that we had jumped the gun, we were involved in conflicts that we couldn't pull out of. Everyone just needs to breathe. United States, and especially Washington, D.C., if any place is safe on Earth, as safe as it can be, D.C. is the safe as it can be.
How many people fit in the rotunda?
That I don't know the answer to the question. It's not a lot. That's a good question, but I don't know the answer to that. Okay? We got a ton of people on. It's great to see. Why don't you look that up, Punk?
It's called the Capitol Rotunda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Find out how many people. Reagan did it. But I still would not go down to the reflection pool and watch it on video. I just want it. I told people not to go in the... You can watch the show. Look at January 5th. I told people not to go, and I told listeners, please don't go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What's the update from Bobby Richardson? What's wrong with Bobby?
I have no idea.
Bobby, who's hurt? What's wrong?
Oh, something about Tina Savage, I think. I think she's been doing something with work or something, and Bobby talks to her, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so recap. If you already have committed to go down there, ask yourself the question, how am I getting out if the fit hits the shan? Number 2, is it worth it? Are you strong enough to handle tens of thousands of people possibly stampeding? And the answer to that question is no. I would not bring my children down there. I would not bring my loved ones down there. If you have to go down and you feel that this is just something you have to do as a patriot, do not get into the middle. Stay on the fringes.
There's about 2,000 people.
2,000 people in the rotunda. Stay on the fringes. You may need to understand if there is an attack, people are going to run to the Lincoln Memorial because it's covered. Follow me? Jefferson Memorial across the pond. That's not a place people are going to run to. Unless there is some sort of fire or explosion or something to that effect, then they may. The Washington Memorial offers no protection whatsoever. That might be the best place to go. Because people aren't going to run there. If you are near the reflection pond, my best advice for you is either to stay right next to the water so you can immerse yourself in it because nobody's going to go in the water. Or be on the outskirts where nobody's going to go. And that most assuredly would be towards the Washington Memorial. Okay? That's where you got to have an exfil. And then you got to know where you're going to go after that because your car's going to be, you're in a shuttle. You're going to wait for a bus. Do you think those buses are going to be operating? No, they're going to shut it all down. Nothing will move. All flights within a 100-mile ring around the Washington, D.C. will be shut down. All telecommunications will be shut down. Cell phones will not work. They will lock it down. That's what I mean. Immerse yourself in the reflection pond. And yeah, it will be frozen. But nobody's going to go there. People are going to run. My point is don't get into the stampede. Don't run with everybody. Go the opposite way that people run. get yourself in a situation where you are not going to be trampled to death. And then when it clears a little bit, make your decision. If there's an open shooter, lay down. Get to a place that people aren't running and lay prone. There will be snipers working. They will make that shot. Just fucking be careful, man. I wouldn't go down there. I just wouldn't.
And yes, we will be on for the inauguration. Ethan will be on with us, and I will be here too.
Yeah, I didn't mean myself like get in the water. Like, it's this deep. Just get into the pool. People aren't going to be running across the pool. People aren't going to be running into the pool. They're going to be running away from it. My point is get away from the trampling mob, because that is what happens. The first sign of an explosion or a gunfire, and everybody's running. Everybody. And you're talking hundreds upon hundreds of people thick. And within your footprint, there are going to be thousands of people running through it. Do you understand? So don't be in the middle. Be on the edge of the pool, or be in a place that has nobody's going to go to. That is what you should do. Okay? Yeah, Monday will be a busy day. You have the MLK, Martin Luther King. You've got the national championship. There's a lot of opportunity. And don't tell me that we're not spreading our resources thin. Angel Reese, Mike, let's get back to the regular show. That's enough of this. I want to get you guys in because you are awesome and I love you. Angel Reese, do you know who she is? I'm asking Mike.
Oh, no.
I know you know. Mike, do you know who Angel Reese is? WNBA.
That.
No, WNBA. And
okay.
Have you ever watched a WNBA game?
Yeah, one.
What's it like?
I watched NBA more. We'll just leave it at that.
But when you shoot, but when they shoot, what always happens? What's the difference between the WNBA and the NBA?
Whole lot of air balls and a lot of inaccurate long shots, in my opinion.
No baskets, right? Watch this.
Yeah, no buckets.
This is so good. Angel Reese has a new cereal, and it's Reese's Puffs, and that's the cover. And this guy decided to pick up a box and do this, and I think it's one of the most genius things in the world. Watch this. Okay.
This guy's got a high IQ. I love it.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. So simple.
Wow.
So simple, yet so good. Here's another one. Just some quick funnies. Tom Hanks finding out he's on the Epstein list. Here's Tom Hanks and his reaction. Listen to this. Tom Hanks finding out that he is officially on the Epstein list on Monday. Here it is.
Here's my impression of Tom Hanks finding out that he was on Epstein's flight log. Oh no! Oh no! They have a record of my Woody. Here's my.
That's good.
I always like funny stuff. Tim Cast, Tim Pool. You guys watch Tim Pool? You know who Tim Pool is?
Know who he is, but don't watch
Been on it once.
Yeah, you went on a call-in?
Yeah, I called in one time in the members only show that was uncensored. So it's kind of neat. Only a portion of their fans, I think, watched it. He didn't like my question either. I thought it was good.
What was your question?
My question was about something in California. This was about 1 year ago. There was a bio lab that had been discovered, and it had a lot of Chinese, backing individuals. I brought up a question to him. I actually typed in, how do I ask this in an intelligent way on ChatGPT? Well, it was probably a little too intelligent. Not that he's a dumb guy. He's very smart. I just got like blank stares by all of their hosts, and I just never called in again. I was like, all right, I'm going to keep my $10 a month, put that back in my pocket, and love the show, guys. But it was rough, man. I was embarrassed.
Biolabs wasn't a very good conversation a while ago because they took the weapon out of the word. So, yeah, if you go back and look up biolabs around the time of Ukraine, I did a show on At War Clandestine and exposed him. Oh, I fucking, did you ever watch that? Did you see that one?
I don't think I did.
I got a lot of hate. A lot of people were pissed, and I'm like, well, let me show you why this is a complete lie. He came out and said that there were 9 super bioweapon labs in Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin was taking them out. That's why he invaded Ukraine. So I essentially got the satellite imagery of all these supposed bioweapon labs, which they're biolabs, which there's like 373 biolabs in the world, and most people live right next to one. And these are all level 1 through 3 style viruses. They're not global killers like level 4 and 5s. And a bioweapon lab is classified as a level 4, level 5 type virus, a global killer. And so he said that, so I showed the strike patterns, and the closest one was 50 kilometers away from one of these bases. And if Vladimir Putin was trying to hit and destroy a bioweapon lab, he would need a hyperbaric bomb, because you want to create a vacuum and you want to burn up anything inside of that area with certain degrees of temperature so you don't literally kill the entire planet. So I exposed this guy. But this guy also said that he talked to God on the White House steps, and God said that Donald Trump would be the next president of the United States in 2020, and we all saw how that turned out. So, bioweapon labs. So here's Tim Pool, and we have personal experiences. This is about the Groypers and Nick Fuentes. And Tim Pool came out and said Nick Fuentes should have free speech, and I completely agree. He should. Evelyn, hold that question. She says, do you think Trump will walk up Pennsylvania Avenue or motorcade most of the way? I think he will motorcade and get out along the way. I think Donald Trump getting out in any way, shape, or form, exposing himself to a sniper is ludicrous and stupid. And I don't think Donald Trump's stupid. I think he's going to listen to his Secret Service. And he just, Aaron, I can't remember, the guy on the right of him during the shooting was Secret Service guy, blonde hair, butch haircut, black sunglasses, pretty much every Secret Service agent who ever existed, even the women. He has been announced as Trump's nomination to run the Secret Service. I'll get his name and show you the photograph of who he is. But Tim Pool came out and wanted to, somebody who Nick Fuentes goes after regularly because he believes that Tim Pool is a Zionist and a Jew lover. And of course, Fuentes rips Tim Pool apart. I happen to like Tim Pool. We live like 3.5, 5 miles away from him, something like that. I can't believe we've never been on his show, but I don't think he would ever want to bring me on his show. But I do like Tim, and I think he's kind of an entrepreneur and pathway layer for all content creators. But I disagree with him vehemently on this. Listen to this segment. Olivia, you're going to laugh at this because we have firsthand experience of the Groypers doing and the this. He's talking about people who are faking being Groypers and representing Nick Fuentes and threatening people to rape their children and stuff they're not really Groypers. And you and I have stories to tell. Watch this.
Entirely different circumstances. The conversation around H-1B existed.
Right.
It still exists.
Okay, yes.
The bots trying to sow chaos with racist posts is an entirely separate thing that did not create the conversation on H-1B.
No, it tried to redirect it.
It sowed chaos.
Right.
And it shifted opinions of some people in bad directions.
I guess I would push back a little bit and go, I'm not sure what significant percentage it might have shifted. It
doesn't need to be significant. The point is, if these are, it's all about. I described this the other day. Casinos don't win by going head to head with you in a game of blackjack and winning all your money. They win by winning 0.5% every year. So when these accounts, I made this point about Groypers. I said Nick Fuentes' fans. The people who go in chat rooms and post vile rape threats to children are not Fuentes' fans. Those are people.
Spaghetti-O. We got some stories to tell you, Mr. Pools.
Trying to attack Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
How do you effectively attack Nick Fuentes? Claim to be a fan and then threaten to rape a child.
Right.
What happens then is a regular person who's never heard Fuentes or heard his arguments says all of his fans are weirdos who threaten children, which is not true.
Right. And you think that has now affected the H-1B visa debate?
Maybe it's 1%, maybe it's 2%. But look, man, I go on X and I'm looking at some of these posts and I see 50 tweets from people posting pictures of Indian people calling them a whole, like, bucket of racial slurs in every possible direction. And the only thing you can conclude is this. No reasonable person who wants to stop H-1B would do that.
Correct.
The people who want H-1B want to smear their opponents as evil racists. So when a regular person enters, a regular person walks into a room and says, hey, what's this H-1B thing about? And they see a bunch of people screaming racist things. They
all
go,
the racists
whoa.
are for...
Right. And then
all the racists want to ban H-1B.
Maybe not. I'm not in favor of reforming it.
I don't want to be involved with those guys. They're racist.
So if there's all these bots on X, how many bots are there on TikTok pushing all this stuff?
Oh, man, I assume
like more
massive numbers, and we can't see it.
Right.
Like we know that when Elon went into X, we could see these things, but with TikTok, we can't see anything. And for the longest time in the 2010s, I, as well as the classical liberal bunch, kept saying, if Twitter bans a leftist, we will stand up to defend their free speech because we believe in free speech.
Right.
The moment they got unbanned, they'd come out and file reports against us to have us banned.
Well,
boy, were we stupid for doing that.
It's like the Neil Gaiman thing.
I will defend free speech for someone who believes in my free speech.
Right.
So if Nick Fuentes says we should have free speech and they go to ban him, I'll say, hey, look, man, he stands on the principle, may not agree with his opinions, but he deserves free speech. But a communist trying to strip away our rights to free speech, when they get banned, I'm going to say, ha, ha, ha.
Okay. There is so much to unpack there, and I agree with 90% of it. So I want to preface this and say, I'm not going to sit there and be like, Tim Pool's wrong, because Tim Pool doesn't know what I know. And there are a plethora of things that I don't know that he knows.
Tim Pool probably hasn't experienced what we have, because I've never watched his show, but I don't know if he interacts with his audience like we do. I've heard from a lot of people that we're rare, that we interact with our audience. I don't know.
Mike, you watch the show religiously, or did?
I haven't watched it in a couple months until I started watching you guys. Y'all were actually the show I came to about 8 months ago afterwards. And in his show, their community has a Discord and you have to pay to join it, but that's where they mainly have interactions. And occasionally you'll get one of their co-hosts on, but Tim rarely will do that. If that makes sense. Like, I think it's more meant for the community itself to be community led.
Well, that's why, is because the gropers are not going to pay money to go in and, you know.
It's a cool community too, but you're absolutely right. You put up a paywall, and which is why I'm amazed the community of dummies here. You guys are awesome, truly. So I don't know how y'all have done this and built such a good community.
I condescend to them.
But it's amazing.
I condescend to them constantly and talk down to them like they deserve to be. That's what I do.
We have a couple more donations. When do you want to do?
We do, but this is too important.
I just try to be nice, and someone says, wear the children small shirts for Mike. You know, what are you going to do?
You're the FNG. You're going to get it for a while.
And I want to make sure I clear is that the donations are most assuredly important. I didn't mean it like that, so anyone took offense. My point is that this conversation right here is very, very important. I want to finish it before we move on.
Okay.
So Tim Pool, H-1B, he is absolutely right. The moment that all this H-1B stuff came out and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy said they wanted to bring in Indians, dots, not feathers.
What is H-1B?
I'm trying to tell you, babe.
Okay, sorry.
This is where people think I talk down to you. But I would talk to you like any host. I'm trying to tell you right now. So stop chatting with people and like.
No, I'm not. I'm curious
because I tell you right now.
See how nice it is to be his girlfriend, Olivia?
Yeah. See. You know what? I'm not talking down to you. I treat you like any host. I'd be like, I'm trying to fucking tell you. It's like I'm sitting here and I'm fucking trying on my swimsuit. Like, when we're gonna go swimming. As soon as I'm done putting on can I cover my cack? I'm almost ready.
Mike's embraced his position.
Do you see how Olivia's smiling?
Oh, goodness.
And we're kidding. We're joking. This is what we do.
It's called foreplay.
This is all foreplay. This is for angry sex later. So I can Tamara her bush. So anyway, as I'm trying to tell you.
That almost just came out.
She usually doesn't spit out, so this is a new thing for me. So she's done. She's cooked.
Lego jokes. They just keep stacking, man.
She's cooked. She's cooked. She's cooked. Throw a flag. Throw a horn. She's cooked.
We need a whistle on the soundboard.
You went there, didn't you?
I love you.
Oh my goodness.
Tears, are you okay? Oh.
Okay, I'm
just,
okay.
Just let me know when you're ready. Take your time. Nobody cares. It's it.
Emotional damage.
We should get you to do that.
Extra emotional damage.
Okay.
This is for Homer. She's out. Knocked out. All right.
Oh, you're ruining my makeup.
Oh, you look good, though. You look sexy.
Oh, thank you.
So, H-1B is essentially bringing in overseas personnel from an immigration status, extended work type visas, which are based upon people's overall experience and what they can give to the United States. And unfortunately, it's not always based on meritocracy. It's not always based on because the theory is that if you continue to pull the best and the brightest out of other countries, then they will never exceed past the lack of their potential, right? So when Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk said, well, listen, we think H-1B is extremely important, let's go ahead and bring in foreign scientists and doctors and programmers and everything to do these jobs, Americans were like, wait a second, this isn't what we brought you on for. We're supposed to be America first. We're supposed to stop this, immigrant bullshit. Now, the word was illegal. I don't know where we got to stopping immigration. I don't agree with that. I think immigration is important, but it needs to be limited. But this created this huge thing, and predominantly around Indian population. Dots, not feathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love cows versus, I chase white buffalo. How tonto peyote. So that created this big controversy, and conservatives started splitting. And immediately when I saw that, I saw exactly what he is talking about. We saw that there was this overall hatred for Indian people, and people started talking about Sikhs and sheiks, and they don't use toilet paper, and they use their hands to wipe their asses, and just degrading shit. And it is, and India is a shithole. Okay, it's a horrible fucking place. I'm sorry. You may not agree with me. I don't care. I don't care unless you've been there. You don't know what you're talking about. But this is how you bring in cents on the dollar for labor. And a lot of people disagree with it, and that it takes American jobs. The point is that it creates this huge controversy. And Tim Pool's right. The bots took over, and then they just started hitting every post with this racist and bile type conversation. And this is what bots do. They do it on Facebook. They do it on Twitter. And I get them all the time. And it is just the way it is. That's one segment. The next segment is his comment about free speech. What did you guys, Liv, did that clear it up? What
yes.
H-1B? Okay.
Yeah.
So his comment on free speech, what do you think? Is he right? That even if Nick Fuentes want to say that all Jews, there needs to be a second Holocaust, and, Jews are, all Zionists are evil, and they hate Christians, and they're antithetical to the Christian religion, and they believe God is forever in a lake of fecal matter in hell, and all this other shit that they say from the Talmud. Do you believe Nick Fuentes has a right to say those things, and will you protect his right to say it? Mike, you go first, then Liv.
Freedom of speech. I agree with the right to be able to say what you say, but if someone doesn't like it, you also have the right to get your butt whooped in comments, or someone come back and debate you.
Right. I agree. Liv?
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
It's free speech, and that's why we live in America. We have free speech, and that's one of the best things.
Yeah.
About being.
It's also
here.
one of the hardest things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that's why there can be no gray area. There cannot be. It's just free speech.
I happen to side with Musk on this, and I believe if we can train, and I made this point, in the military, we have a very high success rate of training people in very short periods of time to be extremely effective at what they do, whether it's pilots or dentists or air traffic control. I'm sure we can teach coders and programmers and find a way to do it in a short period of time that it can be effective for Elon Musk and other people. I agree that freedom of speech is certainly not free, and the most costly thing that free speech and the bill that everyone has to pay is tolerance. Because it's never your speech you have a problem with. It's always everybody else's. So the bill, when the check comes, tolerance is what needs to be paid. So I I emphatically defend Nick Fuentes for this. He has every right to say it. I think he's an asshole, but he has every right to say what he wants to say, and I'll defend it, and I have. And I served my country to defend it, something he's not willing to do because he's a pussy. But I will say this. Olivia and I have personal experience with the Groypers. They have trolled my show, and I'm one of the people who has survived their hatred and their anger and calling me a Jew and a Zionist and a kid fucker and all these other things that they called me. This is what happened. Liv, you can kind of explain after I do this real quick. Beardson is the second in command to like Nick Fuentes. And Beardson kind of follows and mops up after him. He would be a jizz mopper in a porn place. Beardson would be. And he just sits here and goes, like he did for Nick Fuentes.
Fluffer.
Yeah, Fluffer. He came on my show, and honestly, we had a good conversation. He's not a... I'm just fucking around. I'm not trying to be rude to him. I don't agree with what he agrees with, but we had an amicable conversation, and I think at the end of it, he's like, hey, you're not a bad guy. But all the Groypers came in, hundreds of them, and they just started just dropping the N-bomb and all this horrible shit, and they follow him around, and he does his show, and he goes, hey, let's go fucking get this guy, this Zionist Don't Unfriend Me show, and go troll him. And they all come in and they sick. But they had hit me before on Rumble. And I don't remember the guy's name. And if Tim Pool sees this and goes, okay, I'm going to bring this guy on and have him tell the story, so because if I'm wrong, I want to admit it. I'll look it all up, and I'll pull it up, and I'll pull up the show, and I'll show you everything, and we have it on live, and everybody saw this. Everyone knows who watches the show. And they came on, and it was my daughter's birthday. And one of the Groypers came on, sent me a message, and he said, I know what I can get your daughter for her birthday, my cock in her mouth. She's 13 years old. And I received several other emails that, I'm gonna rape your daughter as I slit your wife's fucking belly open and you watch her die. Some horrible shit. And of course, my reaction to this is, please show up to my front door. Please show up to my front door so I can explain to you how much I vehemently disagree with your existence. But my whole point was, wow, this is insane, right? And everyone knows that I showed the emails. Everyone's seen this. And
good.
It's not like the Dumb Nation doesn't know this. And I'm sorry, Olivia, I'm taking a little bit of this, but they came on and then they started going after Olivia and saying some of the things that they know gets after guys of you control your wife and, you don't like her. Why don't you just tell her you don't like her? Why don't you just put her in her place and have her go cook something and all this other stuff? And Olivia is just like, fuck you, just doing what Olivia does, just going off on him. But when Beardson would talk, she would chime in and she's like, you're an asshole, and then he would go after her. And I'm like, come on, guys, let's stop. The point is that Beardson did exactly what Nick did and said, I deny that this took place. This hasn't happened. These are people. These aren't my people. They wouldn't say this. First of all, I'm sorry that happened. My people wouldn't say it. And then the guy who sent me the email was in chat. I'm like, you motherfucker, I know you. And I burned him live and I pulled it up and I showed the email. It was his picture on Rumble, same one on freaking YouTube, same name. And Beardson goes, oh, I know that guy. Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. And I said, oh, really? Boom. And I showed the email. I said, then why is he sending my daughter pics and saying that he's going to rape my kid? And Beardson's like, oh, that's not the same guy. Prove it. So I pulled up the Rumble pictures. I pulled up those pictures. And even the vernacular, he spelled the same word wrong. And I just completely shut him. This is what they do. And they come in and they say some horribly mean and degrading shit. And then they pretend, oh, we're just kidding, bro. Even Nick Fuentes talks about rape and says, you can't take a joke about rape. It's just a joke. We're just kidding. And he openly admits it. So for Tim Pool to carry water for Nick Fuentes is ridiculous. And everybody knows who has had any interactions with these guys. They pretend they don't hate Jews. They pretend that they don't have Nazi ideology. And they do. And everyone knows they do because it's all they talk about. It's like Jake Shields over on Twitter. All he talks about is hating Jews. That's all he talks about. Everything is Jews' fault. Everything. Doesn't matter what it is. And if everything is the blame to Jewish people, and they cause all this hatred and dissension in the world. So what do you tell me? You like them? Why would you like people? There's Muslims. I can't stand terrorists, and I can openly say it. I absolutely hate groups of people who are Muslim, and I have no problem saying that. I also hate groups of white people. So for Tim Pool to do this, it just goes against the truth. And although I agree with him that not every groiper does this, in fact, 90% of them have been really cool. They don't fuck with me anymore. I talk about Nick all the time, and they go, at least he's going to get a fair shake on Matt's show. Matt's just going to say his opinion, but he's not going to degrade and lie about Fuentes like other people do. And I don't. I give him a fair shake, and they leave me alone now. But Olivia, you were here. I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, he was an asshole.
I'm so happy to hear you said that.
Yeah, I still don't like him. He's tried coming back a few times, and he keeps changing his name, but it all goes back to the same guy. And yeah, free speech is free speech. But I'm not going to, oh my gosh, Cap.
Got the boot. Come here.
Ooh,
I love you.
She just yelled at me.
I know. I love you. I know she doesn't. Mommy doesn't. I do.
She's going to claw my eyes out later.
Go ahead.
You about to do the baby cradle?
Yeah, she's mad at me.
Oh, here we go. Oh, geez.
Oh, she's daddy's girl at night. She's so funny.
Go ahead.
I would never defend Nick Fuentes. I would defend his right to have his free speech, but I would never defend him as a person because his free speech sucks and he is an asshole. So, but I'm not going to say that he can't have it because I'm sure there are people out there like Mr. Fixer who thinks we're assholes and thinks we shouldn't have a show because our free speech is not what they agree with. So, I have to support Nick Fuentes he has the right to say it. I just don't have to agree and support him in any way, shape, or form and like anything. And my way of not supporting him is I've never watched his show. The only show I've ever watched is the clips you've shown on here.
Yeah. And listen, Nick, listen, I know what Nick's doing. And he's a gotcha. He's a Howard Stern shock jock type guy. There's a difference between threats, and those are threats. And I proved it, and I showed it, and they don't mess around. But listen, if I ever saw those guys in person, and any one of them said what they said, I'd feed them their teeth.
None of them would have said that in person.
Never, not one. All of them were breathing hard on the show. They couldn't even get past their own breath while talking. I can't, give me 11 seconds, and they're going to be exhausted, and then I'm going to have my way with them. Cardiovascularly, all I got to do is last 11 seconds with these guys. They're a bunch of freaking trolls. They're a bunch of Cheeto and
there's
Mountain
a
Dew
lot
drinkers.
of jokes that could be said here.
Yeah, I know.
How do we have a cat that can't jump?
I don't know. I remember when they clicked the call-in link and Matt was screening, they tried to get his video removed by showing porn. They did. They tried to, and of course, I was like, guys, you may have got me in the first 6 months, but I'm like, my liberal kung fu, and they're not liberals, but my groiper kung fu is strong. They came in, they talked about the USS Liberty, they talked about the Rothschilds, they talk about, Mesopotamia and Judea, and they just, every time you made a point, I'm like, wait a second, stop. Let's go back and they're not used to that because I'm just trying to have a conversation with them, but fucking cat, it's really hard to have a conversation with people who are not interested in doing that. So I'm not slighting Tim Pool. I just think Tim Pool didn't do enough research on this because I could show those videos and prove that what he said is absolutely incorrect, and it is.
We need to take a
after this break.
The DUM store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUM10 to save 10%. Visit thedumshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Over 1,000 comments on the show where nobody interacts with the viewers. Constitution of the United States of America, folks. It is official, just like the smaller books for the Documents of Freedom. This is released by and for the Library of Congress and Smithsonian. Full cover, 144 pages. Damn cat. And yeah, no problem. Thank you. And biographies in the back, which the white balance will get fixed. All full pictures, beautiful. It's got actually a picture of the Constitution, so you can actually see it and reference it right there. Pretty cool there. All leather bound. So it is fully covered in leather, and it is your own copy, and it's 9x6. It's a large copy. And here's the cool thing, just real quick. Not that I'm saying I have older viewers, but all you old people who can't fucking see anything, it is extra large font. So it's in size 16 font, so you're not going to bleed your eyes. If you want, I'll sign it for you, No, I won't. But
we'll have Yenny sign it.
Why not?
Because I'm not going to sign the Constitution.
Right.
You can do a Yenny, Paul.
Yeah, or something. All right, Liv.
All right,
Liv's keeping.
Cheryl's
Liv,
your mom,
can I give you a
right?
compliment?
Yeah.
You do an amazing job at keeping the ship upright. You really do, and I love you and I appreciate you.
I
even
am
though
a
I
mom. I can multitask.
even though I don't respect you at all. What's
Cheryl
the total?
Royster's your mom, right?
Yes.
Mike? Okay, she just ordered the Yenny on the Prowl sweatshirt and t-shirt.
I knew there was going to be something. She was going to say something about a cat tonight when you showed the sign.
She just ordered the Yenny on the Prowl
that's
sweatshirt
awesome.
and the t-shirt.
You're going to love it. They're so cool.
What's that one look like?
Dude, you haven't
never
seen
seen
that
it?
design? Oh my
No,
God, it's one of my.
no.
I'm sorry, it's one of my best designs I've ever done. I'm sorry, I got to show it to you. And I'm sorry,
Please
I'm
do.
tooting my own horn here, but
It's good. It's good.
I'm going to show it to you right now. Can I tell you how excited I am to have a weekend off with you, honey? I can't.
3
I can't
days.
do both. I can't do both, baby. Can't do both.
3-day weekend.
Don't start ringing shit off yet. I'm not ready. Where is it? Where is it?
Y'all are so lucky. Y'all have Monday off too. I have to go into work. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I always
It'll
have
be cold
Monday
in
off.
Georgia.
I have every day off if I really wanted it. I just
The kids have Monday off too.
dumb show. Yeah, so we're gonna watch the inauguration together. I pray to God that it's safe. Okay, hold on, pulling this up.
You're going to be streaming, right? I'm going to try to watch it at work on the desk. That'll be awesome.
I will be streaming. We goose.
Great.
So Yenny on the Prowl. I'm pulling it up. And pulling up the big shirt. Oh, this is
Suspense is killing me.
Oh, dude, I love this one. I freaking love this one. Okay. Here it is. There it is. And I'll do this.
Wow.
Oh, wait a second. It gets even better. Make sure I got downloads open. That way I can zoom in. So, Yenny on the Prowl, on her stripper pole. Yenny the cat.
I was going to say the cat bending over with the.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful shirt. I love it.
Yeah. So, the Yenny on the Prowl shirt.
It's a nice ass on the cat.
That's right. So that is the Yenny on the Prowl shirt. Everyone loves it. It's one of our best sellers, and it's one of my favorites. If you have not been to our store, you gotta go. It's got a lot of great stuff. Liv, give it to me.
All right, so Jennifer McCarver, $50.
No,
My
can
favorite.
we do the total first?
Yes.
Do the total so I can update it. And then
$429.41.
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
Ms. McCarver says, my favorite #1 show. Thank you for your dedication. Love you guys.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
And Mr. Dr. Michael Lynch, $50.
Thank you, Dr. Lynch.
Appreciate
Just a doctor.
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 Miss Bobby Richardson, $77.74. We love
Bobby.
you, Bobby.
Wow, Bobby.
Thank you.
And then I have a question on this one. Miss Cat Alkire, $51.99. It got sent in twice. Was that a mistake or was that meant to be? So it's like
Kat, I'm going to say you meant to do it. Thanks. How much was it, first of all, before I answer?
$51.99.
Sounds like it was totally meant to happen.
So Kat, if that was, because it was 2 minutes apart. So if that was a mistake, email us and let us know so we can reverse the charge.
Sounds like your
on one of them.
contractions. I think I had a contraction hearing that you gave $51.99 twice.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if that was an accident or
Kat, if
what.
it's a mistake, let us know and we'll refund your money right
Matt
away.
at thedumshow.com.
Is that with both $51.99s in there?
No, that's not.
Is that with one in there?
With one. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a
Okay,
mistake.
I'm going to load it and wait for Kat to answer. Kat, once again, if it was not meant, let us know and we will adjust it and give it back to you. I still want a Yeni stuffy. Lori, we tried. They're expensive. I'm working on it, but it was like $175 for the initial mold, and then they were like $75 a piece. And I'm just like, I don't know if people are going to pay for the Yeni cat. Ryan goes, gotta grab them by the Yeni. That's so true. It's so true.
Sometimes you just grab him by the Yeni. Tim Bull, he's got a cat, and it was a beautiful cat, but Yeni, oh my God, have you seen the booty on that thing? Very beautiful.
Gosh, that's funny.
So good.
Great shirt, though. I don't know how you make this stuff and be that creative, but teach me one day.
I've done graphic design. I picked it up just like anything, anything I've ever done. I always just pick it up and I just start because I don't know how to do it and I want to do it, so I just learn.
Okay, so now I'm really confused because Kat just said another one for $51.99. So I'm very confused.
Okay, Kat, I need you to answer right now, or we're going to go ahead and blacklist your card because I think you. No, seriously, I think. There might be a problem here.
Yeah, because another one just popped up. So I want to make sure everything's
Glenn,
cool.
Kat, I need to hear from you ASAP.
She is just on. She was just
the
on.
bicep is looking freaking. Okay, sorry.
So did you push another 60?
No. I'm just sweating like a sieve, and sometimes you got to work out before you do the show, and that sucks. So I need a shower.
Are you able to turn?
I'm still waiting on that regimen.
Yeah, well, we have to have a conversation. No, the lady on Rumble, we'll do that, Mike. The lady on Rumble, we haven't figured out her order because there is no order, so I don't know what it is. So, Kat, let me know what you're supposed to do, if it's supposed to be the 51 or it's more. But either way, don't worry if you accidentally hit it 3 times. And I do that all the time with Olivia, is hit it 3 times. So sometimes it's a happy mistake.
It's been a week, hasn't it?
It has.
I know what your brain is on right
Dude,
now.
your work schedule sucks. It was so awesome when you were off every day because it was just like, woohoo!
I thought it was like, because every time I'm on this show, there's some comment about it. And I was like, I must just be a good luck charm for Matt. I'm looking out for my boy.
We talk about sex all the time. You have nothing to do with it. I can honestly say.
Put my earmuffs on half the time.
It's foreplay every night.
I do feel very energized on Saturday. I called my dad last week and I was like, this show being on it last night, I was so scared, but man, do I have some energy today. So I can see it being foreplay, but in a different way for me.
Okay, Kat said,
I'm the girlfriend.
kept saying there is a problem, but it's okay.
No, Kat, it's not. Let us fix it. Just give me the green light. I'll refund both of them to you right now. We don't need 3 of them, Kat. That's we love you. Thank you. But please, it's an easy fix. We can refund it. No problem. Just say, Matt, refund it, and it's done. And we'll take care of it right now. If you truly want to do that, that's fine. I'm not going to, you're a grown lady, but I don't want you to feel like you have to. It's a very easy thing. It's not going to hurt us. Okay. We're going to give you guys some bonus time. What an amazing night. If this sticks, it's a hell of a night, and we've got plenty to cover. So we're going to give you some bonus time. Plus,
can I take a quick step real quick? To the
a step? You mean you want to go take a piss? Yes, please go to the head. Yeah, dude, go to the head.
Thank you.
I mean, what you don't say, they're going to take a giant shit. You should be. Why don't you go to the powder room? Come on, Lynches. You gotta help him. Mom and Dad, help him out. Toughen him up a little bit. He's a good kid, right?
Oh, he's hilarious.
He is. He's fun.
I don't think I ever got this much shit when I was the FNG because I'm your wife.
He's the new guy. Kat, okay, she says you're worth it. You're amazing. Let's put in the new total live. Kat, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. You guys do amazing. You help out so much. And for us beggars, we sure appreciate it.
533.39.
Thank you. You guys, this is a tough month.
We appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Even the $1.53, Marky.
Yeah, you cheap son of a. I mean,
You know why he did that too?
I know
right?
why. I know why.
You said
JD did the same thing.
Just $1 and the 53 cents is rounding up to pay the tax.
I know. JD did the same thing. I thought it was hilarious. So let's.
Great minds think alike.
They do.
Oh.
Let's get something that Olivia can comment on. This is the sound for this for sure. I've got a toity too, to be honest with you. But I have a
toity.
Yeah, like he was making jokes.
You got to go toity. Do you need to go to the potty? Do you need a potty break?
No, I don't need a potty break. But we are going to put this on until Mike gets back.
Join wimkin.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at wimkin.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
Go over to wimkin.com. Do we have any Wimkin questions, comments, or anything like that? Okay, good. You won't get another till March. We're good. Sold my show, heifer. Well, congratulations on selling your heifer. We will miss your donations until March. Go ahead.
Dr. Lynch just said he needs a Texas catheter. I'm assuming.
It's a beer bottle, right? Texas catheter is a beer bottle.
So I don't know.
All right.
I guess that one up.
I don't think this was a pee break. I think this was a.
What?
I think he went deuce. Did you go deuce, dude? Did you go pee? Did it all come out okay? Come on, jeez Louise, take your time. We're all waiting on you.
It's so a type, a male external catheter that helps manage urinary incontinence in men. Your dad thinks you need a Texas catheter.
What did I just walk into?
I just love the fact that your parents make fun of you on the show. That's so great.
I have a question for you.
When I'm gone,
did you fall in when you sat down, or what happened? It took a while.
It's a very long hallway, a very small toilet.
You know what's worse? The worst thing in the world is like you wake up at like 3:30 in the morning and the bathroom's cold, and you go pee, and then you touch the cold water. And you're like, oh, that's some cold. It's horrible. It's so cold.
Oh my gosh, Matthew.
I hope everybody got that. That's why we have back
because
problems.
I've heard that joke several times.
Yeah, you sit there and complain. She's like, I had to carry a 9-pound baby in my stomach for 9 months. I'm like, I've been carrying a 9-pound baby in my pants for 50 years. Let's move on. So
I love Friday nights.
This is going to be, it's fun. Our show's fun. It's always fun.
It is.
Here is a video. Now, this one I got to go take a leak. This lady is a principal of the school, and these kids are running around on the basketball court with a live game going on at a high school. And the principal, does what anyone would do, kind of like the chair at the restaurant. Watch this and tell me what you guys think. What's your opinion on this? Here it is.
Police say she noticed young children walking onto the court while the game was being played. You can see the principal getting up so the little kids didn't
see you, Bobby. We love you.
Get
Bye,
hurt.
Bobs.
At least 2 times she pulls the kids back while the game is in play. At some point, Plaquemine Police Chief Stephen Angolio says words were exchanged, and the mom was having none of it.
The principal sitting in a chair, the lady's walking by with 3 kids in tow, and
good night, Evelyn.
One of her friends, and the principal asked her, they keep your kids off the basketball court, disrupts the whole game. She obviously took offense with that, and you see her move in on the teacher puts her hand up to kind of keep her off, and she just punched her, knocked her out of the chair.
Surveillance footage in the school's gym obtained by the...
It sounded something like this.
Hey, Christina Lopez, remember me? You want some shit? Huh? You want... Whatever. Oh my God, what's going on? Psycho check, psychos!
WAFBI team shows the parent hit the principal. She's knocked to the ground.
This wasn't excitement from the competition. You made a bad call on my child or anything. This is a woman that was there with kids that was disrupting everything. I don't even think she had a child in the game at all. And she wasn't watching her kids. And when somebody told her you need to, she didn't like it.
Melanie says, that's my neighbor. Which one? The one that was carrying the kid and Sock the Whitey, or the white colonial oppressor? Which one? I'm interested to find out. So, Melanie, you should call in. Ryan, I like this Ryan Jonesberg guy. He goes, she got yennied. so
he's on a roll.
Olivia, you get to go first.
Well, I can tell you that the mom
is this going to take a while?
No, sure, I can make it take a while.
Can you please, for the love of God, can you just tell them about
you
your time?
got 10 seconds.
Tell them about your
go.
time
Come
growing
on.
up in
Tick, tick,
Flathead,
tick.
in Big Fork, in Big Spoon. I'm sure they'll be riveted.
Paul's going to be on tonight, and he's going to call in and defend me.
Tell your boyfriend to stop calling.
Riveting.
So my opinion on that is that the mom is totally wrong. She should not let her kids walk out on the basketball court, because what's going to happen is one of those kids is going to get ran over by another kid, and then that mom's going to freak out on one of the kids that's playing basketball. So she's totally in the wrong. And to be completely honest, if I was there in the stands and I saw that, I would go over there and usher the kids off the court too before they got hurt. And that's just the mom and the teacher/nanny in me that will do that wants to protect all the kids. And she's totally in the wrong. And I hope that principal press charges on her, because she's a nasty woman. What is your opinion there, Michael?
I love the lady, the mom's shirt. I think it said "no negative friends." I couldn't really make out the bottom, but I believe it said "no negative friends." I'm like, lady, you know what you just did? Like, no negative friends. You're the negative one here, but whatever. I don't get that. I don't get it. I think some people just are looking for a fight,
They are.
I'm not a mom, though, by the way. Not
well, according to the left, according to the leftists, you can get pregnant. So just let us know. We'll throw you a baby shower.
Birthing person.
What
We
do
can
you
have
think
a
about
birthing
that?
shower.
Was the principal wrong? Should she have?
No. Well, we already said our opinions. Do we need?
I know, but I didn't get
them?
to hear it because I was taking a leak.
I said the mom is completely in the wrong, in my opinion, because what would have happened if the principal wouldn't have ushered the kids off the court? One of those kids would have wandered too far in and gotten knocked over by one of the kids playing basketball, or been hit in the head by the basketball, and then the mom's going to freak out on those kids. Principal has every right. It's her school, has every right to keep the kids safe. And in my opinion, if that was me and I was there, I would go out onto the court and get them back.
But didn't the principal push her first?
See, I didn't see that. I would have to watch the video again.
Yeah, by the way, people are like, oh, Matt has a bathroom in the back. No, I know how to take a pee quick because I don't sit down. And I was in the military.
A very,
you're fine.
I drink a lot of water.
You don't. I 2 whole glasses so far, dude. I have a bladder that won't quit. All right, so let's watch this.
Also, if you can slow down on the lady's shirt, hers. Ooh, when you get the chance.
No
negative energy. My bad. Okay, no negative friends. That's even better.
No negative energy. This seems pretty negative to me. She's in her face. Oh no. No. She's in her. No, she's in her 3 foot. No, principal. She got in her face in a threatening manner, and principal put her arm up. No, I'm going to say principal is in the right. She just basically put her up as a stop, and homegirl just popped her. So what do you think? Should she put her hands on the kids? I mean, she's a principal, right? I mean, what if the parents weren't there? What if this was a school event and she would protect those children, right? I mean, should she not protect those children?
No, she should. She's the principal of the school. It's not like she picked him up and, she just kind of ushered him off and kind of, ushered him off the thing. I can tell you.
Somebody told her you need to.
I can tell you that I take the kids I nanny to the library a couple times a week, the local library. And it's always during events where there's other toddlers there. And majority of us there are nannies. And we all help round up the kids together. We've got them sitting. We got nannies all over. covering the exits with the kids. And if one of the kids tries to get out, we pick them up and put them back in and make sure they don't get out. And we're all like, hey, thanks, appreciate it. Because it's real hard to wrangle the kids when there's a bunch there. So I've not had one mom or one nanny look at me and go, hey, don't touch my kid. How dare you? You know, they're like, hey, thanks, appreciate it. Because I do the same because I've got a wild one that likes to run. So, I mean,
it's kind of funny that this is like the second incident in so many months where we've seen a person get in somebody's face with a child, like that lady got into my face for trying to help her child. I'm just like, it's kind of crazy. By the way, someone asked if the water was cold. It was tepid, so it wasn't too bad. I look at it this way: you shouldn't touch my kids, but if an adult does, she was trying to protect the child. She was warned twice. Get up and take care of your kid. But the good news is this: there's good news and bad news. Yes, the lady is most assuredly going to face charges. But the good news is when she gets out of prison, she has a contract to be on the new Aunt Jemima bottle of syrup that is going to be in production, which is exciting for her. So she should get some
Shows
proceeds
the parent hit.
for that.
You see her move.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I would totally press
No
charges.
negative syrup.
No negative syrup.
Competition on my child.
Syrup makes
No negative
everything better.
Yeti.
All in the game.
So yeah, anyway, I wasn't trying to be racial there. I don't understand that whole look, you know? It's like I'm going for the
Melanie tried to call in, says the phones were not available. Try again.
That's because I turned them off, Melanie. I told you to call in and I turned them off because you've been kind of a smart aleck, so I just wanted to make you payback's a bitch, Melanie. I remember everything. Melanie, we're good to go, sister. Give us a call. I've got a couple more videos, but let's get Melanie on the phone so she can tell us about baby mama and find out what happened.
This Ryan Johnsberg guy's good. She can see her baby daddy again in jail.
That's a good point. If she knows who it is, she's got to.
Or you know what?
Listen, if you're going to be racist, you got to really like take it to the next level in this show. You got to be quicker.
It's probably 3 different baby daddies.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, thought.
I was just. That's racist.
Throw that one out there. Jesus.
While we're waiting for Melanie to call in, here is God, this just Kathy Cockle.
Oh, there she is.
There she is. It's Melanie. Hi, Melanie.
Hi.
So don't you giggle. What the hell you giggling at? She's Melanie
the
starts
lady
shit.
was told twice to get her damn kids.
Yeah.
And she didn't because her son was playing basketball. She was all the way down at the other end of the bleachers, and these 2 little ones were just sitting there by themselves.
Okay. So
And
wait a
then,
second.
so when
we
they
saw
went
the
out,
video.
the
Do
principal
you
tried to
know
get him
her?
back.
Do you know her?
Huh?
You said it's your
No.
neighbor. You're lying.
The principal's my neighbor. Stephen is my middle son's godfather.
No effing way. So the principal is your neighbor?
Yeah, she lives
Did she
2
get a-
houses down.
Did she get a black eye?
No. The other lady came in. They didn't show that part.
Yeah.
So the lady with the kid, she told her, and you can hear her. Well, you weren't there, but they didn't
Right.
play that part. Tell her she was gonna shank her. I'm gonna shank you, and like lunged at her, and that's why she held her hand out.
Oh, so let me ask you a question. The lady with
That
the
makes
baby,
sense.
which trailer park does she live in near you? Is it,
She doesn't. She lives off of Luke, off of Luke Street, which is basically the ghetto in our town.
you can't say that. That has racial connotation. You can't say the ghetto. You got to say the shit.
It is.
So
I'm sorry. It's the middle of town.
So Melanie, like your principal, like have you talked to her? Has she said anything to you?
Yeah. She didn't. She's not going to talk about the case. I mean, the funny thing is the Angolios, his father was the head judge here forever. His sister's a judge now.
Oh,
and his
this
other
lady's
brother's
going
a judge.
She's going to jail. She's going to jail. She's got family. Oh my God, the Angolios. It sounds like a mob thing, you know.
The Sopranos.
The Angolios are going to take care of this.
They
Make an
really,
offer, can't refuse.
they really are good. They're good people, but they are abhorrent to the law and the law of the land.
Oh, it sounds like
And
it. I mean,
you know, they don't care. It is what the law states. They're very constitutionalist around here, big time. But everyone here, I mean, when I say we are a 2A town, we are a 2A town.
When you walk, Second Amendment,
rangers are farmers.
So when you watch this, where you're like, oh my God, that's the principal that lives 2 doors down.
I didn't have to watch it.
Oh,
I
she was there. Melanie was there.
No, what? Holy shit. Melanie, I had no idea.
Well, what?
Yeah,
Melanie,
we
why
were
wasn't it
supporting
you?
the band.
Look at everybody. Everybody was going to get in it. I mean, like 100%. Everybody was getting in this fight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, they will brawl it out big time.
Look at the whole families there.
Melanie, was this like a building into that moment? Had it been highly, tense during the game?
The games are always like that around here. They are very, how we talk about LSU versus Alabama, right? The Bama versus LSU game. Here, it's the same thing with like White Castle and Livingston. It's always, even with these little ones playing, they are just, oh my God, ridiculous. And they, on one side of the stadium is the out-of-town people, and on our side, of course, is the people who live here in Iberville Parish.
See,
but
this doesn't look
everybody,
like
even if you don't have kids, you go to these games. We just support
Melanie,
it.
this doesn't seem like a race thing. This seems like a pissed off mom protecting her babies. And this is ridiculous. I mean, this principal's obviously not a racist.
It's not her babies. It's her grandbabies.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yes way.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I wonder if the mom of those kids is going to come out and say something, because seriously, my mom would never do something like that.
The mom's in jail.
Oh my God!
Okay,
This sounds like a. Listen, can Jerry Springer fucking come out of the woodwork, please, and Oprah?
On the next episode of Days of Our Lives.
Can we get a baby? Can we get a paternity test? Just someone throw one at me real quick. Here, I have a question real quick.
God.
Listen, seriously, no question. Which team won? And was there any white people on either team? Because I'm serious. There's not one white kid on the court.
There's not many white kids who play basketball except for like the Catholic schools here. Most of them
and they get their asses
and
kicked.
baseball.
They get their asses kicked, right? I mean, completely. It's a bunch of
Oh.
fat 300-pound white
They
kids.
Probably.
Hey, I played ball.
But
I was
no,
pretty good back in high school.
We do like the rodeo circuit. So most of our kids in the rodeo circuit, are they playing football or baseball or track?
Right. Black people aren't in rodeo except for Will Pickett, but that was like 80 years, 100 years ago.
We don't have many. We have a few though, because we have some ranchers out here that have been ranchers out here for over 30 years.
I'm not saying in Wyoming we had black cowboys for sure. I'm just saying it's few and far between. It's like a white kid on that basketball team.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, very few and far between.
I can't believe you were there, Melanie. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Did you give them a ration of shit like you give me all the fucking time, or ma'am?
Oh look, see, now you understand why my husband has a bail fund.
Right. Oh my God, that is so awesome.
No matter where I go, shit breaks out.
Listen, sister, you're telling me I'm a magnet for it. I've got something tattooed on my head. Listen, we're gonna show the Roseanne video. We love you, kid. Thanks for calling in. That's so awesome you were there.
Thanks, Melanie.
Love you, Mel.
That is cool. Thanks,
Bye.
Melanie.
Y'all.
Oh, I love being condescending to my callers. God, I hate them. Just hate them. Just oof. Mr. Fixer, what a douche.
Why they trying to turn Becky into Dan?
Yes, it sounds like Cartman. It's Roseanne.
It does.
I was going to say Cartman in the house.
Listen, Tom McDonald, if you copyright strike me for this, I swear to God, you don't be a dick, right? Roseanne's on our network. She's on Wimkin. What's up, baby?
I got a question. Mike, did you call your basketball team a gang, not your team? Just out of curiosity?
It's kind of racist, dude.
That's what your mom just said. Yeah, that's what your mom just said. Said you called your basketball team your gang, not your team.
What are you, a little banger? What's up, Miklo? What's up,
for
Miklo?
1 year.
Blood
For
in,
1
blood
year,
out,
man.
Holmes. Serranos,
We had
Verticas, Colonia Chicles.
I learned my basketball at the city gym where I grew up, and I learned how to not call a foul very quickly. But we did have we had some rough guys there. So I was the short white point guard that had to learn how to play and pass really good. But we were really good for one season.
Did they call you White Shadow?
They called me the White Stallion.
Oh my God.
I'm sure they did, dude. I'm sure all
Actually,
of them
no,
did.
I broke my thumb in one of the football games because I punched my teammate. True story is the only game that my dad actually came
You
to
kept
see
your
because
thumb
he was on
inside
call a
your
lot.
fist, didn't you? You kept your thumb inside
I did.
your fist.
I
didn't
learned
you?
a lesson.
Stupid.
But I finished that game and I fouled out. It was during halftime. The coach came in and said, "What's going on in here?" I was like, I slipped off the desk. I was a bad
I love
I was
the
a bad
fact that your
student.
parents watch and just like throw you under the bus constantly. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thank God that I know Tom
Makes me
McDonald is
better.
very, very good with copyright, which is awesome. I don't mean to interrupt Kurt Rambis, but we're going to go ahead and move on to to something else here. Roseanne Barr, we're trying to get her on. She's a busy lady. I mean, just the dread she had to get put in was incredible. We want to get her on. Jason's talking to her. She's at the Maha event. She's constantly has her own podcast, but we're going to try to get her on. I would love to go on her show, just for the exposure and use her platform. But I would love for her to come on the show because she's just a cool lady, man. She said some nice things. Here is the music video, Tom McDonald, Roseanne Barr. We have to play. Listen, it's not going to win a Grammy, but it's pretty funny. And Tom McDonald does a great job. For a white boy, he is the second best white rapper. Nobody beats him. I don't care about his politics. Here it is.
We want you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. We want you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag. Thank God that we're back, couldn't take another 4 years. That's a wrap, I can take a bath in your tears. That's a fact, you got lipstick all on your beard. You're a man, that is cap, cap. You pretending you're accepting, that's an act. You hear pat. If you want our freedom, come and take it back. Bet you can. We want you mad. It's done. Too bad. Ooh, so sad. We want you mad. You cry. We laugh. We wave the flag. They try to cancel me and say that I'm a racist. Got a mean hook. They can't get me with that jam. Trying to take away my rights and go and save this. Well, listen up, cause this gun is going bad. With the facts. Why they trying to turn Becky into Dan? You get screw Eminem. I'm Roseanne. We want
Dude, I can't.
Trying to turn Becky into Dan. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Dude, I can't believe she frickin' did a call out to M. I mean, M's gonna have to put him, like, if he gets his next album, he's gonna have to call Roseanne back out, man. Yeah. I can't. All right, let's finish.
So sad. We want you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag. If you mad about it,
love her shimmy.
Oh wow. Say goodbye to Joe, your daddy's coming home. We won, you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad, now your daddy's home. We won, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag, now your daddy's home. We won, you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. We won, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag, now your daddy's home.
Dude, I want him on the show too. I love his stuff. He's awesome.
He's fantastic. If you have not had a chance, go over to iTunes, make it number one. It's $1.49, whatever it is. I bought it, and I'll probably never listen to the song again, and I don't care. It's awesome. Roseanne is, we love her to death. She has said nice things about the Don't Unfriend Me show. She watches the Don't Unfriend Me show, which is also cool, because we condescend to her too, and that's important. Mr. Fixer, you don't have Roseanne watching your show that you don't have, do you?
Roseanne thinks Matt's a genius, Mr. Fixer. So
she thinks you're a fucktard. So moving on, I love it. It's fantastic. I also love that Tom McDonald does not copyright. By the way, Governor Kathy Hochul does the opposite. Crime rate is out of control. Homelessness is out of control. Illegal immigrants are out of control. The lawfare is out of control, and she decides to have a dance-off. Oh, watch this. This is ridiculous. New York is becoming my second hated state outside of California. I'm going to mute this song every once in a while.
Oh, a mashup?
I'm gonna get I'm gonna get copyright struck for fucking Boys to Men and Poison. That girl is poison. Did she just do the fucking Running Man? Oh my god.
Ryan wants to know what nursing home this is from.
I'm telling you, dude. I told this Men in Black recreation.
Dude, Ryan needs to call the show.
Dude,
awesome.
what
Call Ryan. Call.
No, don't call. Don't call. We got to go soon. But
call
we
Ryan.
think you're come back. We think you're funny, dude. What in the name?
Go take care of your city.
Yeah, yeah.
My goodness.
Why don't you go?
State.
Why don't you go protect the CEOs? But this production is the best. This is how it is, and I've taken some time to prepare a statement for everybody who is feeling uneasy and has that not so fresh feeling. And OB is not going to help. I understand that there's liberals and Democrats out there who are just terrified of what Jan 20 will bring. And we all felt the same exact way when Joe Biden took office. We knew this because we had seen the song and dance before with Barack Obama, and we knew that Joe Biden would essentially be Barack 2.0, and he was, because his entire cabinet just switched and undid everything that Donald Trump did just to spite him, and we saw the economy plummet. We saw a reemergence from COVID that took way too long. We saw the stock market, which Donald Trump had on the up, go even higher. We saw inflation increase, the highest it's been since 1932. We saw the world stage laugh at us. We saw our border become porous. We saw fentanyl deaths, and as what Donald Trump moved towards the opioid crisis and put those pieces together to slow that down, was only overtaken by fentanyl because of your lapse on the border and your feckless leadership when it came to China. We saw your son get thrown away with charges that some of them were so far expired that we didn't change the code. We didn't change the state laws. We didn't go to Delaware and rewrite new laws because we couldn't prosecute your son. They got him for what he actually did. And then you just went ahead and just wiped with a stroke of a pen everything he did away, along with some other people who did horrible things like rape and pedophilia and commuted their sentence from death row because you only care about capital punishment with the other three that somehow you said were justified, but you're against capital punishment just under certain circumstances, which makes no sense. You ate a lot of ice cream out of your time as president, and the 4 years, you took almost 2 years of vacation. And whenever there were things to do, instead of going to Camp David or going to the White House and doing your job, you would go to Rehoboth and sit in your multi-million-dollar upgraded secure mansion and fall off your bike. Joe Biden, you will be missed. We will have no one to make fun of except for all the screaming liberals that are about to melt down in the next 72 hours as they wait over and over for something that will come, waiting for the all part of the plan experience as somehow Obama comes down from Mount Sinai and rescues all of us from Donald Trump, which will not happen. He is your president. And he will be your president for 4 years, and he will be your daddy forever because he owns you. This song is for all of you. The orchestra, led by Donald J. Trump, the symphony and concerto in E, for you to enjoy on this one of final evenings until it is all over. My final minute is given to all the liberals who have spent the time trolling my site and tried to take me out. Yes, all the times you reported me for hate when it wasn't hate. All the times you tried to fact check me because, you know, they're facts. Don't Unfriend Me Show is still here, and we had just had our greatest month we've ever had with 22 million interactions. It's great to be back. We can't wait that now that Mark Zuckerberg's red-pilled and he starts going ahead and shilling for conservatives, that maybe I can actually make some fucking money off the platform for once. But either way, we will be here and in your craw and constantly giving you what you need, which is the undue attention and constant starvation you have because your parents don't love you because they can't fucking stand you. I am here for you at the Don't Unfriend Me Show because whether we agree or disagree, and whether you love me or hate me, all I ask is that you don't unfriend me. Mike, your final minute, please. It's up to you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me back again. And congratulations, Matt, Olivia, Leroy, Amy, and the whole entire DUM Nation for 4 years now, right? Is this start of year 5? And y'all made it all the way through that entire presidency. And here you are, emerged stronger, and y'all have invited a moron like me on. I cannot thank y'all enough. But with that being said, Tommy, I'm going to see you tomorrow with Dad. Looking forward to it. We're going to go out to the shop.
Say that.
And yeah,
you better buy him a big ass gun.
He's got some big guns to taking Dad to Tommy.
I want to get down to Georgia and go to Tommy's store really bad and make some purchases, and that's going to have to take place because I need to get some upgrades. But dude,
you can go visit Still Point. A lot of our listeners are in Georgia.
We're going to get down to Georgia. We got a lot of fans in Georgia and Still Point that we love, and we need to go down and catch a show. Maybe this summer we'll come down and catch a show and then go to Tommy's place.
That would be great.
We would love to do that. But Mike,
do I have to bring the beer, or do you bring the beer?
If you come down
you owe us, you owe us like 100.
New guys just asked about beer. You owe us another case.
Is that another case? All right. And then the last thing there is I'm getting texted over here. Even though my parents love to give me shit, I love you guys so much. Mom, you're a wonderful lady. I hope you enjoy your shirt. Dad, hope you enjoy the sweatshirt you got last week. And Matt and Olivia, seriously, on the serious side of things, thank you guys for letting me hop on.
Funny, you texted me a couple nights ago talking shit about your mom and dad.
I thought we weren't going to bring that up. That was a four-wall conversation, sir.
I never.
Thank God, America is imploding.
Olivia, it's been a long 4 years. So before we get to.
Oh, yeah. Had it. Oh, God, that was so good. Now I'm going to stuff my fucking face with Pepperidge Farm.
You have a minute.
Well, again, thank you to everyone who donated. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mike, for being here. And thank you, Mike's parents. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Always.
And we getting the skinny on Mike.
Did they give us any money tonight? Did they give us these people? Thank you for paying your son to be on this show. We love that. We're not going to give him anything, but we love it. No, we're kidding. By the way, I want to say Mike is getting, listen, he has to do his time. He's still the FNG. He's on probation. You don't get your trident right away. He's got to do, but he's going to get on the header, and we're going to do all that. He'll get on the show. Just try it out, feel it out a little bit longer, but he's doing a great job. We love him. We appreciate him. Libby, go ahead.
Well, we managed to get 200,000 plus followers during Biden's presidency because we were only on for a little less than 3 months during the last 3 months of Trump's presidency. So this show has grown through Biden's presidency, and people trying to stop us and destroy us and not let us have our free speech. So I'm just looking forward to the next 4 years during Trump's presidency and see where this can go, because this could be exciting, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be our next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year.
We go big. Yeah, that would be really nice. It would be awesome.
We will call Trump out.
Oh yeah,
and we certainly did during these 4 years when he made some issues and some bad choices. But in the end, we've always been not loyal, because I don't believe in loyalty to politicians. We have always held faith that he is the right choice. And although unconventional, I truly believe that this will be a great 4 years. There's a lot of opposition, though, and a lot of hatred towards him. And we got a lot of cleaning a house. Cheryl says, I can help you with advertising. We always appreciate it. I'm pretty damn good at it, but we can always use more help. All the help we can get to grow. But I wanted to thank all the hosts. I want to thank Olivia. I want to thank Mike. Monday we'll be back. It'll be myself, my son, Olivia, and
probably not Hayden, because she's going to be in her room talking to her friends on the phone.
But we'll be here.
Saying she's doing homework.
We'll be here in the daytime, and then we'll have a show probably at 7 o'clock, depending on how long the inauguration lasts. But we can't wait to see you. I want to thank everyone who helped donate, everyone who made this show for what it is the last 4 years. It's been amazing. Mel, we love you. And everyone else on this show, we love you. Mike, thanks for being here. Livy, thanks for being here.
No problem,
we'll see you guys on Monday.
You.
Good night,
Tommy
everybody.
and Jen, thanks for the nice comments, by the way. Yeah, good night.
Yeah. So you're lactose intolerant, Mike?
You're lactose intolerant,
What?
Mike?
No.
Mike is lactose intolerant, Cheryl says.
It says
What the hell are you talking about?
Did you not breastfeed, Mike? Mike, were you a bottle baby?
Where does that come up? It's the end of the show, Mom. We'll talk about this tomorrow.
Were you a biter, Mike?
Oh my God.
Did you go?
I have no idea.
Did you make poopy and pant when you tried breast milk? What do we need to know?
I'm playing into this. I'm resisting.
You know what they say about men who don't breastfeed? Do you know what they say about men who don't breastfeed?
No.
They're gay. So
I am not gay.
Are you sure?
But I am your girlfriend, apparently.
But I am willing to
It's a new
learn.
world.
You're my bitch. Hey, you're my bitch. The Constitution of the United States of America, folks, you guys can pick it up. It is a 9x6, 144-page book. It is beautifully printed. It is Library of Congress and Smithsonian. This is unreleased to the general public, along with biographies right here of the framers. You also have pictures of the Constitution inside. It has all the amendments listed, too. This is on sale at the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Get 10% off by using code DUMBTED. These are selling out like crazy. We will not have them by this time next week. So please get out there and get them. God bless. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Great show tonight. I had a lot of fun. We'll see you Monday. Good night.
Yeah, he's making her appearance.
Mike, have you tried breastfeeding since you struggled with it when you were younger?
Still on this. Just let the show end, man. Just let it end. I can't handle the humiliation. I'm never going to recover from this.
You never told me about your cat milking days in Motown, Greg. All right, good night, everybody. See ya.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show.
It's all part of the plan.
Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree. We can
Cheryl
disagree.
says, I'm so sorry.
Don't unfriend me.